Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you've had a good week. It's been a few days, but we're back live. I've had a busy set of days off, in fact, that's why I've not really been around that much. But we're live today here at iniBuilds wonderful London Heathrow International Airport. Really good scenery, isn't it? And we are off to Belgrade in Serbia. The new Fly2 scenery recently released for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we're in the new Fenix version 2 block 1 update from the other day. But there we are, here at London Heathrow's Terminal 4 in fact. And we'll chat about the last couple of days that I've had in the cruise too, because I've done my CBT, so technically I'm a biker now. However, only on 125s, those rasclap 125s, so nothing exciting. We've got a long way to go in the training. What do we want? We want request boarding. I don't know if I've bitten off too much more than I can chew with the boarding there. But here we are, Air Serbia. Really nice freeware scenery from FlightSim.to. But of course, in real life, Air Serbia operate the IAE engine option, not the CFMs that we have on the Fenix. But nevertheless, it's the only option we have. But it's quite a nice route too. 2 hours, 40-ish minutes block time roughly from here to there. And it should be quite a nice little route. So if you're new to the channel, great to have you on board with us today. Hit like and subscribe as well. It'll then unlock in 2 minutes the ability for you to chat and say hello in the live chat too. So make sure you do that. David, hello to you. Andrew, good morning in Canada. Super early West Coast for you. Wow. You basically stayed up all night. You basically stayed up all night, put an all-nighter for today. It's great. Zato, hello to you. Rab, good morning. Grant as well. Badger, good afternoon. Hope you guys are good. Maverick, hello. Ian, g'day for you in Perth. Good evening to you. And the commentator, good morning. David's asking, are the other engines still coming soon then? I think it's coming in block 2, isn't it? Block 2 of the Fenix, I believe. Might have the IAEs in there, I believe. I'd have to look at it again, to be honest, just to kind of refresh the memory, but who knows. Let's dive in. Custom cabin from FlightSim.to here as well, with the rather nice seats here. Custom made, part of the old livery. Very nice. 2 months left for 1 year, Zato. Thank you for the ongoing support. Great to have you with us. Past the toilet. And I had to chuckle actually, because I said in the club lounge earlier on, do we use self-loading cargo today? And interestingly enough, the overwhelming answer was no. But the bit that made me chuckle was somebody said, I don't want to listen to Taco Bell for 3 hours, so that's fair enough. We won't make you guys suffer. Murray in Australia as well, hello to you. A little earlier than usual for our stream time, so those of you the other side of the world, Australia, New Zealand, it's a little bit, well, it's a little less late for you guys. Still fairly late though, isn't it? There's the gross weight in the Mac GW, let's scribble that down. We've done a fair bit of the pre-flight prep already, because in about 3.5 hours from now I've got to go to the dentist once we've landed, so I've got a fair bit of work to do. Zero fuel weight 58.7, 30.9% for zero fuel weight centre of gravity. And there we go, so 144 passengers, 3,154 kilograms of cargo loaded, and planned in the tanks 9,528 kilos of fuel on board too, giving us a total gross weight of today's aircraft loaded up 68,231 kilograms. So if we work through this, we've already pulled in the init A page, configured the route with our departure on the Detling to Foxtrot departure here at Heathrow, over Detling, then over the channel via Dover towards Calais, and then over Europe. We'll pop the performance in, so 58.7 / the 30.9% centre of gravity, zero fuel weight. And then it will give us the opportunity to run the block, but we'll just put 9.5 in. Gary, hello to you as well. Welcome. It's not 230, no. Right, that's done. On the performance page then, little weird one actually, because, where is it? Here we go. It wanted me to use flaps 2, which I could do if I left it on optimum flap config, but we're at London Heathrow. The runway is almost 4 kilometers long. We don't need flap 2 with a little headwind of 4 knots, so I've changed it and specifically set flap config 1+ F with packs on. We'll just do a quick resync of the weather. Yeah, it's all fine. So yeah, it leaves us with that. So V1 154, V rotate 154, and a V2 155 knots. Climbing up through the transition altitude of 6,000 feet, flex of 60, flaps set 1 for departure, and the trimmable horizontal stabilizer down 0.3 for takeoff. How does that translate to the charts then? Well, we've got about 8 minutes before pushback. We're down here in the Victor cul-de-sac, the old Concorde cul-de-sac, years and years and years and years ago when British Airways operated out of Terminal 4. A lot of history with this terminal people don't really kind of appreciate, because the terminal's a bit of a dump nowadays. It's probably the worst one at Heathrow. And there's not even a Concorde memento or anything there. Crazy. I suppose it is parked opposite near November Bravo 2 Echo, but hey ho. We're going to push start in the cul-de-sac, only one direction for the push. Doc, hello buddy. And we're going to head up over Sierra Bravo 3 for a runway crossing of the active landing runway 27 left. So we're going to cross 27 left, get nice and safe past November Bravo 3 before we report vacated, and then we're going to go right on to Alpha. And then we'll just follow Alpha all the way around, possibly to Saturn, I think it is. Depends how busy it is when we get there, but we might be very courteous and do what they do in real life, and they'll clear you to Saturn. And then they'll either guide you Link 23 or via Link 21 to line up Alpha 3, Alpha 2 or Alpha 1. So, Sierra 3, across the runway, November 3, right Alpha to hold Saturn if it's really busy with a lot of flow coming from Bravo and Alpha on the north side. Failing that, we'll just continue all the way to Alpha. Yeah, we'll do Alpha 2. So we'll do Alpha, Link 23, Link 22, Alpha 2 for departure, runway 27 right. And the Detling 2 Foxtrot has us head 2 miles westbound initially, climbing on 27 right before then turning left before Windsor. Might be just after Windsor actually, I can't remember. We'll find out. We'll try and get a wing view on the left side as we turn, if it's not too busy. And then we'll head outbound 136 degrees towards Epsom's NDB, frequency 316, and then eastbound 091 up to 6,000 to Detling's VOR 117.3 before climbing up and away to our cruise of flight level 370. Fly high, hello to you. Developer of the scenery here at Belgrade today. Lots of time and effort gone into this one. It's their most exciting one to date. Thank you to them for sending it over to me actually. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to it. Over Dover, towards Coxey, over Belgian airspace, and then heading over a bit of German airspace, Vienna, or Austrian airspace, Hungary, and then heading down to Serbia, like so. A couple of hours later, we will be arriving in hopefully some nice weather. Let's have a little look at what the METAR is at Belgrade currently in the live chat. There we go. Is boarding complete? Oh, I didn't even. I thought I clicked it. Oh well, we'll prepare for pushback. 1015, nice weather. Oh, look at that temperature, 32 degrees. Aviation Sim, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you like the route. Let's go to 1228. And we'll just make sure our panel lights and things are up as well. That's all good, that's all set. And the APU master switch goes on. Pop the seatbelt signs on. That's all good. Jetty's been cleared by the ground crew. Unicom Graveyard all the way, brilliant. SkySim says, do you need Navigraph for VATSIM? Technically no, but it does make a huge difference. A huge difference to your ability to kind of fly accurate routes. ATSU, isn't it? AOC. Receive messages. Let's take the final load sheets. Oh, actually, that looks like the prelim was the last one. There we go. We'll accept that. That's the actual current one. Wicked. Okay. Beacon. Clear left, right, and behind. So we need to wait for the chocks. We'll go APU bleed on. External power can come off now. And then back in the Fenix ground services tab, we're going to get rid of the chocks, cones, and the GPU. So we are ready for push. QNH is set. Mike says I was going so well until I rotated. Oof, what happened? I'll put the METAR in the live chat for you guys as well for London Heathrow today, so you can see what the current weather report is for the UK's busiest airports. We'll make sure the VORs are on, selected to auto-tune and constraints. Although actually, we could be really good here. We could put Epsom 316 in.
Release parking brakes, please.
Yes, look at that. We'll be superbly professional. Mike says the Fenix app crashed in the background. Oh god, that would be infuriating. Touch wood, that doesn't happen to me today. London Heathrow traffic, Air Serbia 42 Victor A320 on stand 419er, push and start in the Victor cul-de-sac. Heathrow traffic. Brakes off.
Commencing push. All engines are
Okie dokie, let's start her up. And with the Luke Air tool, I have found that they have an Air Serbia safety demonstration. So, strap in. I would imagine it's quite entertaining. Engine 1 starts. Weird. Throttle lever not on idle. Quick little wiggle. Gaming with friends, very exciting. Gary says, hey, is it worth learning the Airbus as well as I just fly the Boeing? Yeah. Oh, there's not much to learn with the Airbus, to be honest. It's you're kind of learning how the computer works more than anything else with the Airbus. Everything else is just effortless. So it's quite nice if you want a relaxing flight with a lot less intervention from a pilot perspective. The Fenix A320, the fly-by-wire A320X are wonderful for that. I still stand by my own kind of personal thoughts where Boeing, so a little bit more immersive in a flight sim world, because it has us work harder. Engine 2 start, part brake set.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start.
Jules, welcome.
unlocking the nose gear.
Tracking the flight on Volanta as well today, so you guys will be able to watch us fly along. We'll put our screenshots on there and things too. Rightio, let's play the safety demo, I think. I have no idea what it is, but I would imagine it's quite entertaining.
Dame I gospodo, dobrodošli na let Air Serbia. Molimo vas da obratite pažnju na našu bezbednosnu demonstraciju.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Air Serbia. Please pay attention as we demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft.
Vaš sigurnosni pojas mora biti vezan kada god je znak za obavezno vezivanje uključen.
Your seatbelt must be fastened whenever the fasten seatbelt sign is illuminated.
Podešava se
1 plus F. Ground spoilers arms.
Pull the strap.
Otkopčava
Fully
se
right on the
podizanjem
stick.
gornjeg dela kopče.
Back
To
to neutral.
unfasten, lift the metal
Fully
flap
left on the
and
stick.
pull the belt apart.
Ili,
Back to
ukoliko
neutral.
putujete u biznis klasi,
All the way to the back.
pritiskom na crveni deo kopče.
Back to
Or if you're
neutral.
traveling in business
And all the way
class,
forwards.
press the red button
Back to neutral.
and pull the belt apart.
Rudders.
Ukoliko u toku
Left,
leta dođe do
back to
iznenadnog
neutral,
gubitka pritiska
right,
u kabini, maske za
back to
kiseonik
neutral.
automatski će ispasti iz odeljka iznad vašeg
Yeah,
sedišta.
this one isn't
If
right.
emergency
Just need to
oxygen is
recage it.
required in flight, masks
There we
will
are,
drop
wiggle,
down
wiggle, wiggle.
automatically
My
from
favourite
the panel
animation.
above you.
Snažno povucite
Okey-doke.
najbližu masku ka sebi.
Pull the mask firmly towards you to start the flow of oxygen.
She's off.
Prislonite je na nos I usta I dišite
Taxi
normalno.
lights on.
Place
If
the
you bleed
mask
off,
over your
has to
nose
switch
and
off.
mouth and breathe normally.
Pričvrstite elastičnu
A little bit of
traku
power to get
glave
this
I
rolling.
podesite je povlačenjem krajeva trake.
Place the elastic band over your head and adjust by pulling on the straps.
That's a great route,
Masku
Game
prvo
of Friends.
namestite sebi, pa tek onda pomozite drugima.
Fit your
Heathrow
own
traffic,
mask
Air
first
Serbia
before
A320
assisting
Victors
others.
taxiing to
Ovaj avion
Sierra
ima
Bravo
8
3 to
izlaza
hold
u
short
slučaju
27
opasnosti
left.
koji su jasno
Heathrow
obeleženi.
traffic.
Strelice na znakovima pokazuju pravac izlaza. Najbliži izlaz može biti
power do I
iza
need?
vašeg sedišta.
There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft,
Weird
which are
parking,
clearly
like, the
marked.
parking brake was
The
off, but
arrows
the
on
brakes were
signs
stuck on.
indicates the direction to the
Heathrow
exit.
traffic,
Your
Air
nearest
Serbia
exit may be
387,
behind
pushing
you.
back Terminal 4, gate
Sletleća traka
419.
na podu uputit će vas ka najbližem izlazu.
In an emergency, the floor path illumination will guide you to the exits.
Instrukcije kako da otvorite izlaz nalaze se na svakom izlazu.
Instructions on how to open the exits can be found on each
Yeah, big
exit.
update from Fenix the other day
slučaju
with
evakuacije pratite
huge
instrukcije
landing
posade.
improvements apparently.
If evacuation
So
is
looking forward
required,
to that.
follow the cabin crew
We'll see
instructions.
if it slams down or not.
Prsluk za spasavanje se nalazi ispod vašeg sedišta u ekonomskoj klasi ili sa strane u sklopu vašeg sedišta u biznis klasi.
A life jacket is located under your seat in economy class or on the side of the seat in business class.
Kada dobijete
Looking into the
instrukcije
approach
posade,
path,
uzmite
see if we
prsluk,
can
izvadite
come
ga
to a
iz
stop
omota
or if we
I
have traffic
navucite
on
preko
final.
glave.
Nobody's announced
When
anything though.
instructed by the crew, remove
And
it
we'll
from
look
its
left,
stowage,
clear,
take it out of the cover,
and right,
and
clear.
place it over your head.
Vežite trake
So looking
uz
nice and
trupa
early
I
into the
podesite ih
approach. No
povlačenjem.
lights whatsoever.
Fasten the strap around your
There's
waist
Sierra 3 and Sierra
pull
Bravo
to
3.
tighten.
Naduvajte prsluk tek prilikom napuštanja aviona. Prsluk se naduvava snažnim povlačenjem
Strobes on.
crvenih pločica ili duvanjem u cevčice.
We'll keep this momentum. It's good
Inflate
speed.
your life jacket only as you leave
One
the
final
aircraft
check.
door. To inflate, pull
Looks
firmly
good.
on the red toggle
Heathrow traffic
or
at Serbia
blow into the
42
mouthpiece
Victors
if
crossing
necessary.
runway 27 left
Povlačenjem
by
žute
Sierra Bravo
pločice
3.
upalit će
Then
se
right
malo
Alpha
svetlo pri kontaktu
to
sa
hold
vodom.
Saturn.
Pull the
Heathrow traffic.
yellow tab so the light illuminates on contact with water.
Prsluci I korpe za spasavanje će biti obezbeđeni I za bebe.
Life jackets and cots will also be provided for babies.
U džepu
Ooh,
sedišta
there's a VATSIM
ispred vas
supervisor
nalazi se
online.
uputstvo za postupke u vanrednim situacijama, uključujući I izlaze. Molimo vas da ovo uputstvo pažljivo proučite pre poletanja.
The safety card located in your seat area details important safety information, including exit signs.
Looking left,
Please
make
take a
sure
look at
Alpha's
it
clear.
before takeoff.
Uputstvo pokazuje stav
It
za
is.
udar koji morate zauzeti u odnosu na vaše sedište kada čujete komandu brace, brace. Sada se upoznajte sa pravilnim stavom.
I'll flick that to
It
auto for now.
illustrates the brace
You
position
should sense that
applicable
we're
to
off.
your seat, which you
Heathrow
must
traffic
adopt if you hear
Air
the
Serbia
command
42
brace,
Victor,
brace.
runway 27
Familiarize
left
yourself with this
vacated.
position now.
Na svim letovima Air Serbije pušenje nije dozvoljeno.
All Air Serbia flights are non-smoking.
Zabranjeno je u svim delovima aviona, uključujući I toalete koji su opremljeni detektorima za dim.
Can't see anyone there queuing or an Alpha or
Onesposobljavanje
anything, so
detektora za dim I nepoštovanje
bit of a
pomenutih
shame.
pravila je
James, hello to you,
protivzakonito.
welcome.
Smoking
Gareth
is
says, which
prohibited
Airbus would you
in all
recommend,
areas
please?
of
Well,
the
you know what?
aircraft,
Start with the
including
Fly2
lavatories, which
A320NX
are fitted with
because
smoke detectors.
it's free, isn't it?
Tampering
So
with
that's a
smoke
good
detector
introduction to
or non-adherence to
Airbus
these
life, so to
directions
speak. You can
is
then
a
work out if
criminal
actually
offence.
you quite like
Vaš
it, or
ručni prtljag mora
and if you
biti
do,
smešten
then buy
u
the
gornje
Fenix.
police ili
This is
ispod
fantastic though. The
sedišta
Fenix is
ispred
really
vas.
good.
All carry-on
A
items
lot of
must
the
be
bugs that
secured
I'd
in
had
the
previously
overhead
now that
stowage or
really
under the seat.
peed me
Sada
off
ste u
royally
obavezi da
seem to have
isključite ili
been solved,
podesite na režim
which is
letenja
really
sve
welcome
elektronske
change.
uređaje, mobilne
So happy with that.
telefone, kao I uređaje sa Bluetooth I
A little
Wi-Fi
view of
konekcijom.
beautiful
You must
Concords.
now switch off or set to flight mode all electronic transmitting
Lovely.
devices
There
such
she
as
is in all her
mobile
glory.
phones, Bluetooth
Moab.
and Wi-Fi enabled devices.
Upotreba ovih uređaja nije dozvoljena sve dok je uključen znak za obavezno vezivanje.
Use of
Okay,
these
so
devices is
carrying on
not permitted
through
until the
Alpha
fasten
onto
seatbelt
Mora,
signs are
which is this
switched
whole
off.
point here, across here.
U pripremi
It
za
doesn't look like it's
poletanje
signed
vežite
actually.
sigurnosne
Maybe that
pojaseve,
is
uspravite
Mora.
naslone sedišta, spustite rukohvate, zabravite stočiće ispred vas I podignite zavesice na prozorima.
In preparation for takeoff, ensure that your seat belt is securely fastened, seat back, upright, handset and tray table stowed, and window blinds open.
Curious, so I'm just going to straighten the nose wheel. I'm going to have a look on the right side. Does it say Mora?
Your cabin crew
No,
now pass through
that
the
one
cabin
doesn't.
to
I
carry
think
out a
that's where it's
final
meant to
check.
say Mora. It's there though. Weird, that one's blank.
We thank you for your attention and wish you an enjoyable flight with Air Serbia.
Okay, through Saturn then, we know that there's no queuing, so we shall continue. Heathrow traffic, Serbia 42 Victors, continue taxi, hold point Alpha 227 right via link 23 and link 22, Heathrow traffic. Matthew, the cabin announcements, they're from lukeairtool.net. It's a freeware cabin announcement program. It's very good. There's an aircraft over there on Alpha. That's fine. A little bit of the brakes and we'll follow the line round. We know the crew are done with the safety demonstration and we've got cabin secure. So takeoff memos, no blue. Transponder on, TARA alt reporting, that's all good, that's all set. Rudder trim is set to neutral. Auto brake set max. FCU is set and checked. Runway turn off lights, nose wheel lights to take off. Let's pop all of the lights on in fact. Quick check of the overhead and the approach path. Oops. One thing that Microsoft Flight Simulator haven't fixed is that bloody brake bug. Heathrow traffic, Air Serbia 42 Victor via Alpha 2 lining up runway 27 right and taking off. Detling 2 Foxtrot departure, Heathrow traffic. Can you take a screenshot from Jerry's view? A bit late for that now, isn't it? Where is he? Is he over there, is he? Probably over there, isn't he? Courtyard Marriott again. Oh, let's do a proper Air Serbia departure. There we are. Quick shot of body. Let's go for 40. Nose down. 26. Flex. SRS. Runway. Power set. Speed's alive. Holding the stick forwards until about 80 knots, and then we gently neutralise the pressure on the nose wheel. 100 knots. It's a good old D rate today, 87.8% M1, slow acceleration. Little bit of left rudder just to hold the centre line. Everything looks good. Here we go. V1 rotates, V2. Continuing 3 degrees per second in the rotation to the flight director, which is there. Positive rate, gear up. I'm just staring at the flight director now. Ta-da! Away we go. Blast off. Autopilot 1 on. 3000. Leave a climb to acceleration altitudes. Over the M25, gridlocked as always by the looks of it. That's like real life. Round we go. Peter, yes, it's where all the brakes stick. Ashton Anders, good morning, buddy. Welcome aboard. Just a quick check of the speed here. There we are. We are accelerating. Flaps up and ground spoilers disarmed. And then we can pop the runway turn-off lights off if we so fancy. We'll have some nice views of the departure. Heathrow traffic, Air Serbia 42 Victor, Airborne 1500 at Detling 2 Foxtrot. Final call. See ya.
See you on the ground.
Away we go. There's London Heathrow in the backdrop. Looking really good. Such a big airport, isn't it? Just so vast. And what we'll do is we'll follow the constraints initially, so we'll end up levelling off at 6,000. We're effectively flying a big old long downwind leg in a little while, but kind of actually in between. If you draw a straight line eastbound in the middle of Gatwick and Heathrow, that's kind of the line that we're flying through. There we go, got one on the runway over there.
Air Serbia A320 lining up, Alpha 2.
Couple down at T4 there, taxiing as well. And Wembley off in the distance. Oh yes, and where is it? Twickenham should be coming into view in a second. Look at that. It's a nice and quiet now because we're at 6,000. If we want to. Are they still armed? I disarmed those. Keybinds seem a little sticky today in the Fenix. 46,000. How high can it go? 49. Should it be able to go that high? I know the Airbus actually can't. Look at these clouds as well. Sheesh. We're actually kind of... We can argue we're vectoring underneath that. To save getting thrown around in turbulent weather. There we are. Bit of noise abatement in the SID. Levelling off at 6. Gives us good views as well over kind of South London into Surrey a little bit.
Heathrow traffic, Air Serbia 307 rolling 27 right. Stepping to Foxtrot departure.
Oh, 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 sorry, didn't like that, whatever that was. Standard pressure. Ah, it was loading the weather in. And suddenly there's this big old haze. Doc, yeah, so they are looking at basically still expanding Heathrow with the Northern Runway project, the third runway. So we've chose to ignore the constraints now in the SID. That is fine. The only thing we have to do, bear in mind, we've got to make sure that we are not impeding anyone else that we're flying around us. So that pilot there looks to be going in a similar direction. He's 2,000 below. No issue there. And he's now disappeared off TCAS. So we're just monitoring that. If we leave any constraints in a SID during the departure for any reason, it's always worth just looking at your TCAS, seeing if you're going to conflict with anyone else before you commit to it, and then through the climb monitor that as well to help everyone out. And if you're not sure, then level off, cancel the climb. There we go, through 10,000s. Flick. Oops. The keybinds in the Fenix are just really crap for me. They always have been. They're just, yeah, I don't know. It's got to be specific, doesn't it, before it kind of allows you to do it, otherwise it zooms you out like it just did a moment ago. Scott, hello to you, buddy. Mandura Justin. Don't know what that is. Australia? Very nice. Rab says he took off after me and was warned about the wake turbulence. Justin's in Pilbara, Western Australia. Welcome to you. Hopefully it's nice for you guys to have a slightly earlier stream than usual, because we do some late ones, don't we, for you guys. I know when Chinook tunes in New Zealand, it's like 2 in the morning already by the time we even take off for him, so that's it's quite a lot. So it's nice to vary it up. There's the River Thames. We're currently south of the river. Probably flying over Vile Croydon at the moment. There we go, that's a little bit of a better view. Look at that. Popping out in the sun, London City Airport. Oh, Gary, fantastic. Just got a German Shepherd puppy. Were we the inspiration for that by any chance? Very exciting. Lots and lots and lots of training. Be super good with the training. All positive reinforcement stuff. And then they will be the best dogs. Encompass says there's a Croydon in Melbourne. Is it as rubbish as Croydon in London? Or as grim as? Probably the best way to explain it.
Heathrow traffic free at Pushback and 405 terminal for Pushback.
There's a Croydon in Sydney too. Oof. First screenshots are on Volanta already for our flight today. That's a good point, Doc.
5-mile final, runway 27, left Heathrow.
See that signs off. Let's wind that up a little bit, get some bigger views on our nav display. But I forgot to close that.
November 1. We'll hold short 7 left for the approaching track.
Good to hear, Gary. Have you ever owned one before? Oh, fantastic. You know exactly what they're like then. Night Shepherd, welcome. How are you? I'm going to show you guys what I was riding yesterday. Just trying to bring it up on a screen. This thing, it was bloody awful. There. So it was only a 6-month-old bike, but you could tell it was 6 months old and made in China because it was bloody awful. The clunkiest, worst, most uncomfortable thing I've ever been on. And by the end of the CBT day yesterday, my arse was going numb. And yeah, just not comfortable at all. Look at that, absolute crap. But it's, you know, it's cheap, and CBT bike training companies and things, they use it because they're most likely get crashed. It's only a 125, but yeah, the clutch, it was either in or out, which is really difficult when you're having to do super slow riding around like cones doing figure of 8s and U-turns, because you are either revving the tits out of it, and then you were kind of just trying to feather the clutch, which should in theory be absolutely fine, but you would either feather it either a little bit and it would kind of drop out, and then you'd end up revving more but you'd lose the drive, or you would pull it out just a kind of a fraction, like a mil, and then all of a sudden it would engage and surge you forwards, which would then, it stands the bike up when you accelerate, so you then lose the turn, and then you massively understeer. So it was just crap to ride, really, really horrible, and it actually made me think to myself, even with the wheels, it gave me no confidence at all that I was on something that was even going to keep me safe. And the speedo was wrong, because we were in a 30 and I was doing 30, and my instructor on a beautiful Hayabusa said, what's the speed limit? 30. Okay, well, should we do it then? And I was like, well, my thing says I am doing 30. He goes, you're doing 22. So even the speedo is completely inaccurate. Yeah. Utter rubbish. So bad. Look at that close up. Ooh. But they're just awful bikes. It did the job, and it was, I guess it is a nice introduction to riding, to be fair, as a first ever bike thing. But it is what it is. It was just hairy to ride, and it would lie to you as well. So sometimes there's the tacho thing. You just have a rev counter and then like a little digital speedo, but it'll have a little indication of what gear you were in as well. And if you were in first, sometimes it lied to you and you were actually in neutral, but also when it said you were in neutral, sometimes it again lied to you and actually you were in first or second, even though it said N and the neutral light was on, which then meant that when you went to kind of release the clutch, you stalled. Because it was in gear even though it still said it was in neutral, which is it was just a mess. I found it really hard work, really hard work. I mean, look how uncomfortable those grips are. I said to the instructor, I was like, surely, 11.5 horsepower, Jesus, that's rubbish. I said, surely the 600s are much smoother, much better. And he said, yeah, absolutely, night and day in comparison, night and day. The next bike that I'm going to go on to is, just bringing it up. This is the next bike that we're going to go into. So because I'm going to get a Trident 6, I'm going to get a Trident motorbike for my first bike. The school have just bought one of these that I'm training at, and that is what I'm going to learn on. 660cc Sport Roadster. Look at that, proper bike, and it's got like something like 60 brake horsepower or 50 brake horsepower. Oh, what's that? Oh, nice dash. So they're repainting that at the moment, and then they're putting obviously the crash bars and things onto it to protect the engine, because it's rider training, people might drop them. But yeah, that's what we're going on to, instead of this heap of crap. Looking forward to it though. Ah yes, over Dover, look, the ferries are busy whizzing in and out. Between Dover and Calais. Commentator says, I know a guy that had the Trident for his first bike and he loved it. Apparently it's just a lot more linear, so instead of it being like a surge of revs and then power boom and then you're jolting about, and it's really difficult to just get smooth gear transitions and things like that. Apparently being a lot more linear, the big bikes are just 100% better. 100% better. So many ways. Smoother, more stable. Easier to handle apparently as well at slower speeds, from what they were saying, which is great, because that's what I need. I've really struggled with the U-turn in that Lex Moto, because you have to kind of ride the back brake, and while you're doing that you've got to steer, but you've then got to counterbalance with your body weight a little bit whilst slipping the clutch, whilst keeping the revs up. And the revs, if you were to set 3,000 revs, you can't do that on that Lex Moto. You'd open the throttle to 3 and it would zip between 3 to 4,000 constantly, which meant that you were constantly having to feather the clutch, but that was rough. It was either in or out. But yeah, my direct access is going to be at the end of October into November, so by December hopefully I'll have a full bike license. Yeah, so we'll see how we go. we'll see how we go. I'd imagine the weather's going to be pretty rubbish. That's the only concern. The weather's going to be awful in November. So it's going to be, frustratingly, the first time I go back is a day back on the 125. Road skills on the 125. That's day 1. And then day 2 is introduction onto the new 600cc bikes, 650cc bikes. And then going out round cones, so you just do the mod 1 training at that point. So cones, figure of 8, U-turns, emergency stops, junctions as well, so you have a big space and it's kind of turning left at a junction, turning right at a junction, main roads onto small roads, those kind of simulations with coned off, like, or cones as lanes and things like that. And then you go to a DVSA test centre. And then you do your mod 1 test, which is it's all of the stuff around the cones and things. If I pass that element, I then go back to day, so that'd be day 2. Day 3 is the mod 1 test. And then after the mod 1 test, which should be in the morning, we then ride back to the training site. And throughout that we do mod 2 training, which is like all the on-road stuff. Day 4 is then a continuation of the mod 2 on-road training. And then day 5 is the final day, which is the mod 2 test. I think part of the issue on that 125 was the fact that because I knew it was an awful bike, just a horrendous bike. It was so crap. I just felt no confidence with it. I knew it was unstable. I knew it was a heap of rubbish. I knew the clutch was really rough. I knew the engine was really poor in performance, and because I knew that, I kind of got what I needed out of it, but I didn't have the faith in the bike. And I think that probably then comes across on your riding as well, because you're not 100% confident. You're not going to be 100% confident in the ride either, are you? Let's face it, from what I gather. But I think the direct access going onto the bigger bikes will be a completely different kettle of fish. I think I've got all the kit for it anyway. I also found yesterday that my knee pads in my new trousers weren't set up quite correctly. So throughout the day I was getting more and more sore on my knees where the actual kind of edge of the armoured knee plate, even though it's like Ghost Arm or D30, like flexible armour, I found that the edge of it was actually rubbing against my knee because I'd not set it up properly, which then made it a little difficult for me to flex my legs too, so I kind of made it difficult for myself there. And I hadn't set up my helmet exactly perfectly either, so I found that when I got home, the metal clasp from it had dug into my Adam's apple all day, and even today now it's really sore still, my throat. So I found yesterday that actually I hadn't moved it properly, I hadn't set it up properly. So I'd managed to wheel the buckle across to the side to make it a bit more comfortable. Doc says, did you know the runway that you're going to land on in Belgrade is a brand new runway? It's just been approved to be used on June the 6th this year. Hopefully the new scenery has it because the default one doesn't. Interesting. Fly High is in the live chat though, so they can answer that question. Is there a new runway in this Belgrade scenery? Fly High in fact said that he chose the Royal Enfield 650 because his wife prefers the comfort of sitting on the back. Flying Panda says slow speed is awful on a bike, they're inherently unstable until you've got a little bit of speed. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even the 125 at 30 felt so much more responsive and ready for things. Mushpeas, yeah, I've done my CBT, did it yesterday. Long old day. I mean, having gone from no riding at all, effectively, to passing my CBT in a day, I was quite impressed. I was quite happy. The instructor as well, he was like, you know, the guy that I was paired up with, he'd rode loads before, off-road bikes, all that kind of thing. So when we were kind of learning the clutch right at the start and kind of just sort of getting the bike point and then rolling back a little bit, I struggled with that initially, because it was so alien to me. But he just went like razzing off, really confident, and I thought to myself, my god, am I that bad? But kind of just ignored it, carried on. Captain Rogers works at Heathrow, you're the ground handler for Air Serbia, very cool. I've probably bumped into you a few times. How did you find the U-turn? Struggled. And the figure of 8. Struggled. Just the 125 was just rubbish. So I found it really difficult just to hold the revs and have a smooth kind of clutch control with it. I'd say probably half the bike, half of me being rubbish at driving the bike as well. But yeah, I did struggle with the U-turn. But my instructor, to be fair, was really patient. On the end of the day, we were doing emergency stops in the road as well, and then U-turns in the road. And I found that I was kind of overshooting, so I was going up the pavement a little bit every time, but each time I got a little bit less on the pavement, a little bit less on the pavement, and eventually I think it was the 4th or 5th go I managed to complete it completely in the road. But it was like full lock turn, barely made it in the road. But then yeah, I did it twice in a row and mastered it. I'd like to think it'd be easier on a bigger bike, because you should be able to then kind of hold the clutch and slip it nicely, really gently, with the linear kind of setup and the throttle as well. So you should be able to kind of open it to say 3,000 revs and then just hold it there without having to flex your wrist anymore. Because on the 125, I was trying to use my right leg as the rear brake. I was trying to balance, I was trying to steer with both hands, I was trying to use my right hand to constantly manage the throttle because it was going up, down, and then I was trying to use my left hand to slip the clutch. That's a lot of multitask, there's a lot going on a bike that was just awful to use. But we got there. I mean, my instructor was on a Gen 3 Hayabusa, and he did it, and he goes, the bigger bike, so his Hayabusa is like 270 odd kilograms of weight or something, and he goes, it handles wonderfully at slow speed because it is designed as a proper bike, not some nonsense 125 that some rasclat razzes about in, thinking they are the bee's knees. Commentator says, often the same reason people crash on bends, target fixation on the hedge instead of around the corner. Yeah, looking at the hedge going, oh, beep, I'm going to hit that. And then all of a sudden, because you've looked away from the bend at the thing you think, oh, I'm going to hit it, you then hit it anyway. But looking into a corner, I'm very good because I've done lots of training with work, high-speed driving and all this really good advanced stuff. So I will read limit points and bends and hazards and looking. It's always about throwing your vision as far as possible into the distance, and then working way back, scanning back forwards. Look at every junction. Is it active? Is it not? You know, road positioning as well. Really key. I'm used to all that stuff. And that came across in my riding because I was riding really defensively, making good progress. But I was reading the hazards before they became a hazard, so then I'd prevented anything. Even at one point someone went to pull out on us, on the lad in front of me, and what I did naturally is I looked right, checked my blind spot, and I angled right so that it became two bikes, so it was two lights in the person's view, and then they stopped and saw us both. Something I just did naturally. So I think on the bigger bikes that will come a little easier as well. But you know what? At one point we were doing on the nationals, was doing 50. So I pretty much maxed the bike out. Zipping around some twisties and things like that. And I remember looking around. There were some beautiful farms that we went past, and I just thought, this is so good. I get it. I get what is so nice about riding a motorbike. And that was on the 125 that I just hated. But I remember just being at that speed, just quite stable, quite smooth, no worrying about changing the throttle, and even if you just let off slightly, massive, horrible engine braking that made it quite unstable. You know, I didn't have to think about any of that. In that moment, where we had about a 2 mile stretch of just flat straight nationals, I was looking around thinking, this is just sublime. I can hear the wind, I can feel the wind on my jacket. It's just really good. I can't describe the feeling. Look at that traffic there. Double contrail, looking really good. M1XA says hello. How expensive is it to buy aircraft plugins, etc. for Microsoft Flight Simulator? It depends. Just go with what your budget can afford. You don't have to feel like you have to buy everything. Just kind of pick the bits that you really, really want the most, and then build the rest out of it. And look around at freeware too. Yeah, flightsim.to is a really good resource for plenty of great freeware. What do we want? Let's go for this one. Really great freeware available to the community. I work across all of them, Captain Rogers, but I can't talk about what I do. Yeah, Badger. So initially she said no way, but then I said, well, I'm doing it anyway, so... I've pointed out we need to reconfigure the garage because I already know where I want my security and stuff that I'm going to build into the garage, and where I'm going to ride the bike into for most ease getting in and out of the garage too. So I've already thought about all of that. I've worked out where I'm going to put my trickle charger, a whole lot. I very nearly, after yesterday, and this is how much I enjoyed it yesterday, even though I just hated the bike that I was on, I very nearly thought, you know what, I'm just going to go and buy that Triumph that I wanted. I was just going to go and put a deposit on it and get one ordered, get it ready, because I just thought this is just going to be great. But then I figured I'll just wait till my direct access, because maybe I won't be able to get the skills quick enough. Panda, yeah. There is that. There is that. I think the issue that 125 as well is I'm only 5'11", but I felt like I was 6'6" on it. I felt like I was just huge, so it was just not comfortable to be on. And I found every now and again just the natural kind of position of where my legs wanted to be. I felt every now and again I've caught myself, my foot kind of just pressing on the rear brake a little bit because I just felt completely crunched into it all. It just wasn't comfortable. I had such a numb bum at the end as well. My God. I was relieved to get it all past though. Such a hot day. Fly said that there is... stand by, let me roll up. Yes, sure, we know what LYBE looks like right now. Let's check it out. So does it have the new... Yes, it does have the new runway on. Perfect. So that means they do... Cat Rogers, T3 in hold 5 of a Virgin Atlantic 787-9, watching the stream. Don't stay there too long, you might end up in the Bahamas. Harry says he had to do his U-turns on his CBT 3 times. And Mushy Peace as well said he struggled with that too. Keep practicing, but it's hard. I can do them quite tight though. I mean, the big thing for me now worrying is I'm not going to ride a motorbike now between yesterday and the 31st of October, which is a 2-month gap. I'd like to think I shouldn't really forget too much. If anything, maybe it'll be quite a nice little break, and then I'll go back kind of fresh, ready for it. But sod's law, I'll get there and it'll be absolutely chucking down with rain and it'll be windy. And I'll tell you what was interesting actually, on the Nationals I had some lorries towards, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I remember what people have said about naked bikes, and how you kind of get sucked into the lorry. But I was like, this one's coming towards me and I'm doing 50, they're definitely doing 50 at least, which gives us a closing speed of 100 knots, or 100 miles an hour. I thought, oh, is this going to really hit me? So I kind of just firmed up a little bit on the bars, but when zooming past, didn't even get a buffet. It was absolutely fine. I thought, oh, that wasn't bad at all. And then I went past two or three more lorries. Again, absolutely fine. Commentator saying the biggest thing with the turn in the road is looking where you want to go, and if you look at the curb, you go to the curb. Yeah, you do. Pivoting of the hips, Cornelius says. Remember doing 50 on the CBT and his visor was open. Got a fly straight in my left eye. It stung so bad. I was blinking so much to get it out. Eyes streaming to pay attention. Yeah, I got hit by a fly at one point, but it was in the jacket. But I remember it hitting me thinking, my god, that felt like a stone. It was hard work. Wasp, nice, you've got a gold wing. Comes with an airbag, doesn't it? I see. I haven't got leathers. I've got laminated textile. Is it AA? Basically Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex boots. Gore-Tex gloves. Gore-Tex trousers, Gore-Tex jacket, and I've obviously got my helmet, which is lovely. Although yesterday I was fiddling around with it, and I've realised I've got little hand marks on it because I'd had a Chinese takeaway. Little bits of grease still on my hands after washing my hands, and it's now I've got grubby finger marks on the helmet, which is really annoying. So I have to clean that. The helmet was so comfortable at high speeds. The vent on the Shoei was just wonderful. I could feel it kind of coming in, just keeping my head fresh. Mushpeas, yeah, I'm doing direct access. I'll show you what I'm on about. Well, actually, I'll show you, for those of you who's not sure, I'll show you what I did my CBT on yesterday. Again, I'll just bring it back up again, because some of you guys are still asking about it. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going on to, and then I'll show you what I'm going to get. And then you guys who are the pro riders can tell me. So, that's what I was on yesterday. Genuinely horrific. Really horrible experience. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that one. Look at that beast. Honestly, it was almost power matched to my instructor's Hayabusa. Just so uncomfortable, honestly. I suppose if you learn to ride on utter rubbish like this, the step up to this should be really nice, and it should make such a difference, I'd like to think. Beautiful Trident triple 660, nice triple engine. Triumph for the masters of the triple. Beautiful. And my school's just bought one of those, and they're putting on crash bars and all that. And I'm going to get this for my first bike. Wasp, are you ready? Boff. Tiger 900 GT Pro. Oh. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. That's what I'm going to get. Absolutely stunning. Oh. Spotlights as well. Brembo Stylema brakes. Front double discs and then one rear. Piston Brembo at the back. They got Marzocchi springs. And quick shift, which apparently is epic. Really good. Heated seats in the GT Pro. Backlit instruments as well, and switches. Backlit switches. Heated grips as standard on the GT Pro. And obviously different rider modes, because I figured while I'm new I can just leave it in rain just to get that kind of smoother throttle response while I'm just learning. Have that kind of a little bit more protective ABS and things. But then I'll be tempted to just put it in road and run with it. But yeah, look how stunning that is. Just a beautiful bike. 900, so lots of power. Good for the motorways. So those beautiful LED lights. Oh, look at that. Just stunning. That's what I'm looking forward to. So I'll get one of those. I was going to get the Rally. It's a bit of a shame, actually. In fact, let me show you guys that. Where Where are we? Let's see. Motorcycles, adventure, rally. Oh, that's the configurator. Go on that. Stand by, folks. Rally, view details. So the Rally and the Rally Pro come in this beautiful green. Where is it? Rally Pro. Green's my colour. Look at that. So nice. But it's got the spoked wheels, not the actual road-based wheels, which are these. Look at that, as a difference. And you'll notice as well the calipers, sorry, the reverse suspension springs at the front, they're gold on the Rally as well. Has that got a crash? Oh look, it's different bash plate underneath. So the Rally's got a big protective bash plate that kind of goes all the way down and then up. You got underneath the subframe below the chain, protecting the chain, then all the way up to kind of here. And then the other one is just a straight flat bash plate on the front. Let's rotate that to there. Oh, that one doesn't rotate. That one does. There you go. Very similar. It's basically the same bike, but just with off-road focus on the Rally and a road focus on the GT Pro. And I thought, I'm not going to go on the off-road, so I'll just go for the GT Pro road-based version instead. It just makes more sense. Not going to buy a new one though. I think, would it be foolish to buy a brand spanking new bike as my first bike? I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be the one I'm learning on now, the Trident here. It just looks, well, it just looks like a proper bike, doesn't it? Good to ride on, rather than this absolute car crash thing there. Oh, Lex Moto, jeez. But the price difference is about £2 grand. Andy, I know, right? when I left the last stream, there was a picture of a bike. A week later, he comes back on, and the same bike's still there. I think it's pretty fair to say that I've decided that that's the bike I'm going to get, right? Jay, good afternoon, good morning, welcome. Atlantis says he's got X-Plane 11 instead of Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'll download a few graphical mods and it will look a lot better than Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane. Probably not, but you can give it a go. Rab says a Vespa would be a step up. I know. Part of me thought, do I just buy a cheap little 125 to kind of just go for a couple of rides in between now and then, but I thought, no, I can't put myself through that again. Flying Panda says the bike riding shouldn't be the biggest worry, it's the time you're in remote locations with a bunch of middle-aged men in leather. Yeah, at least we're not cyclists in latex, as Wasp points out in the chat. Flying Panda says, I've always wondered what it would be like to ride a comfortable bike. What have you got then? You've gone for like a more of a sport one. Shaquille, hello buddy. How you doing? He's just sold his ZX-10R. Woof. Let's up. ZX-10R. Oh, Kawasaki. Gee whiz. Look at that. What a bike. Shaquille, my goodness. What have you replaced it with? Or have you just stopped riding? Absolute beast of a bike. Look at that. Just stunning as well. Wow. Maybe I'll buy one of those for my first bike. Probably not. I would be alive for like about 10 days. That's pretty cool. Absolute rocket of a Ninja that. Triumph have come a long way since my first one, Norton Commando 750. Used to fire a cylinder every other lamppost. I leave like a sieve. That doesn't sound great. To be fair, but it sounds like they've gone through... oh my goodness, look at that. We've just missed this. Wow. I think the guy just missed us. Yeah, look at that alternating airways going across but 1,000 above. What a beautiful view that is. Yeah, similar to a money to a PPL, pretty much, yeah. That's the only thing, isn't it? But I don't know. The thing is, I can look at the bike in the garage, and I know that I can just ride it whenever I want, and it would only cost me however much the fuel costs. Whereas with the PPL, I'd have to book a slot, and I know I wouldn't be able to stop there. I'd be like, right, I've done the PPL now. That's the first tick, but I want to carry on. I want to do the instrument rating. I want to do the night rating, all the rest of it, and it's yeah, just one of those things. Yeah, your Goldwing is it's a spectacular bike. So expensive though. It's like 20-something thousand pounds new, isn't it? But you've got airbags and some insane features that you only get on a Goldwing. Really special bike that. Flying Panda says he's still with his first bike. Wow, a ZX6R, known to be uncomfortable on the road, but on the track it's just perfect. So do you find do you angle more to track day riding then, or do you take it out on the road as well? It's interesting actually, because this is the flight sim community, and look how many of you guys ride bikes. In the UK, motorcyclists make up only 1% of total traffic on the road. How crazy is that? 1252.
Condor 2468, right direct Tabum. Direct Tabum, Condor 2468, merci.
Bang on radar, hello Air Serbia 42 Victor, flight level 370 inbound Bombay.
Air Serbia 42 Victor, hello, squawk 2043.
2043 for Air Serbia 42 Victor, thanks. Shirtan says, what are your views on the Ducati Panigale V4? It's a beautiful bike, but it just doesn't look comfortable, does it?
Lufthansa 1098, traffic push in wrong direction, would be able Lima.
Lufthansa 1098, yes, that's exactly.
Leonardo says, do you know where I can upgrade the air rack inside the Fenix A320? I still have the air rack from August to September 2021. So you need a Navigraph subscription, Leonardo, for that. And with that, in the Navigraph Data Center program that you run, it will then update the Fenix along with all of the rest of it in the sim. Rab says, I had a guy holding me up on a Goldwing when I was on my 125 a long time ago. As soon as we hit a straight road, he would disappear, but as soon as it became twisty, I was right on his tail again.
There's a traffic at your 9
Interesting.
o'clock position 4 miles and it's climbing. I have no contact with him, just so you know.
Have an TCAS, Condor 1459.
As a conga line?
42 Victor identified.
Not sure. A little bit of Langen radar, it's really nice over Frankfurt, a bit of ATC.
No factor for us, I think, Condor 1459.
We've got Badger
well,
ahead.
Yes, he is, because you are under the minimum separation, so he is a factor, but you should be clear in that sense.
Air Serbia 387.
Any other stand?
Yes, indeed, that was my mistake. I do
What else
apologize.
have we got?
Can you take Charlie 11, Charlie 11?
Osprey 7821 in the 737-900.
No problem, Charlie 11 is fine.
Appreciate it, I'm sorry.
No screenshots.
Radar Lufthansa 890, ready to taxi, runway 25 cent.
Lufthansa 890, taxi to holding point runway 25 center via November 14 and Lima.
I can't see anyone else.
Via November 14 and Lima, Lufthansa 890.
Zato, BXV 4840. Typo. Oh, those two screenshots don't work.
That was Unicom for Condor 2.
Let's take off.
Can I choose Condor 1459? Say again.
Was a traffic Golf, yeah, Julia Tango 5 Kilo India.
Yeah, that's level 350, so 14,000 feet above you.
We've got Osprey 7821 going Gatwick to Cologne there. Different pilot, but I think we've only got Zato flying along.
25 left,
Ocean 31 Tango November, Unicom 122.8, mach's gut, ciao.
Please switch Unicom 122.8, Ocean 31 Tango November, danke, ciao.
Ryanair 7 Golf Papa, switch to Unicom 122, decimal 8, good afternoon.
Huh.
Yes, 122,
Oh, well.
Ryanair 7 Golf Papa, cheers. Ciao.
It is earlier. Couple of screen grabs.
Contact 10908, the wind is 190 degrees, 11 knots, runway 18, sorry, clear for takeoff.
Runway clear for takeoff, 10908.
Contact 2017, requesting taxi. Contact 2017, taxi to holding point 25 center via November 3, Lima 3.
Contact point 25 center via November 3, Lima 3, contact 2017.
I bet Zato. It's been a little while since you've had that installed. A little bit of high level cloud, but it's all pretty good still. Frankfurt coming up on the nose somewhere in a little moment.
Sonic 2112, switch to Unicom 122, decimal 8, goodbye.
Where are we flying tomorrow? We're off to the new Stuttgart airport scenery created by RD Preset. He's made some good sceneries recently, Gibraltar being one of those. Where we're flying back into another, or his latest scenery, Stuttgart. So for that we've had to uninstall the Stuttgart included in one of the world updates in MSFS. We've had to uninstall that and then install the RD preset one after as a kind of separate package. Really good. Looks quite nice. He said it's a quote unquote Pyreeg level interior. So he said that, they're his words. I'll hold him to it. We'll see what it looks like when we get there. Very excited. I can't remember the route. Ah yes, we're doing Munich, aren't we? Oh, in the CRJ. It's been a little while since we've flown the CRJ. We're doing Munich, the new Simwings version 2. In fact, hopping from Munich to Stuttgart, turning around and flying back to Munich to complete 2 short sectors of about an hour each throughout the journey. Really looking forward to it.
Identified, continue climb flight level 190.
Flight level 190, look for the 109.
A lot of cloud building in here. Look at that. Kind of getting surrounded by it. The most comfortable bike Rab ever owned was the Suzuki Freewind 650 single. Wow. I mean, we had in this the school also has a Suzuki SV 650. And I would have been learning on that, but because I've said I'm looking at getting a Triumph, they're looking to give me they've got a Triumph and a Suzuki. They're basically saying that I'll go on the Triumph if that's the case, so that I can feel and understand how the Triumph triple works.
459 expedite your descent, please.
Expediting my descent, Contact 1459.
Yeah, Zato, it shouldn't be too much longer for many of those. Just for the Flight A300, we've not had many updates about, have we? The iniBuilds A300, they gave us a little development update the other day, and that should be quite interesting. End of the year, isn't it, for that one? Probably just before that, maybe the PMDG 777 in November, I would expect, at a sheer guess. You never know with these things, but who knows? But when you say real world feel, what do you mean exactly?
Condor 2017, thank you very much. The wind is 190 degrees, 11 knots.
Shaquille says the CBR 1000RR looks like a stormtrooper.
Clear for takeoff, Condor 2017, thank you.
There, it's a really nice Fireblade, this one. Jeez. That colour there looks stunning, doesn't it? Oh look, the same 4-piston radial monoblock on the Tiger 900 GT Pro that I'm looking at is on the CBR 1000RR the Superbike kind of setup. Which just shows you how good the Triumph braking options are then on the Tiger 900, because that's incredible. They're the same Brembo style monoblocks. And this is on a on a Fireblade. You're on about this one, right? Oh no. White. The white bike, black rims, red trim. This one.
All stations, unfortunately, London has to close. Here to come now, 122.8. Bye-bye.
Does look like a stormtrooper, doesn't it?
See you, no problem. Have a nice day.
Insane.
Have a nice day.
Cheers. The black looks nice. Yeah, literally same brakes. In fact, even the rear. Can't see it on that side. Yeah, it doesn't really show you very well enough. Need a close-up of the rear brake. Don't know. Flying Panda says to all the microcyclists in the chat, how long are we thinking that Luke's bike will remain stock? It's a good question. I mean, in the UK, when your insurance company says, have you modified it in any way? Technically, if you take the exhaust off and you put an Agrapovic exhaust on the side of it, that is a modification, isn't it? But is a top box a modification? That's the point as well. How do you know if it's got crash protection around the engine? I'm trying to look through various different used ones to see if they've actually... that's a crash protection, isn't it? Let me load this up. So the bars around there... Oh, chuffy neck. That's crash protection for the engine, isn't it? That kind of this frame here. That's used, that bike. 13,500, which is insane. It's only got 1,000 miles on the clock in Croydon. Ugh, Croydon, grim. 2,000 miles on the clock, there we go. But that has got all of the panniers put on it. Which is pretty cool. And there's this one, Bulldog Triumph in Wokingham. Is it Wokingham? Yeah, Wokingham. In Berkshire. 1,160 miles on the clock. Now look at that, that's spectacular condition. Ooh. Little top box. I don't need the panniers, that'll be difficult for Phil to in, but top box is there. The only thing it doesn't have is the engine crash bars, but you should be able to just bolt those on, shouldn't you, and buy them as an extra, right? Lovely. Look at that. That's a fantastic bit of nick. There's the separate bolt-on subframe, but yeah, no crash bars around that. But you should be able to just buy those and fit them on. Because I definitely want them, just in case, you know. Not anticipating coming off it, but you just don't know. And I'd rather protect that engine there. That beautiful bit of engineering. There's the quick shifter. It's got everything, look. Bluetooth connectivity, handguards, heated grips, heated pillion seat, heated rider seats, LED lights, TFT, different riding modes, centre stand, adjustable electronic suspension, adjustable levers. It's a 70 plate though. But that, if that was brand new, spec'd up, that would be £4 more.
Thanks for flying down to my home city in the Air Serbia livery. I live in Dublin but am currently on my sunny vacation in the Bay of Kotor, Montenegro, via Dubrovnik. Many sunny greetings to yourself and everyone in the chat.
Milos, thank you very much. That is really, really generous of you. Appreciate it. Glad you like the content. Great to hear that you're happy with the route today and the livery. Thank you very much for the tip. MotoGP, Captain Shaquille. F1's boring as hell. Would it be stupid to go and buy a bike having never test rode it? I'm very tempted with that red Tiger 900 GT Pro. It's in Wokingham. It's about an hour and a half away. Nationwide delivery available. So I could be like, look mate, deliver it to my house. Can you ride? Oh, I don't have a license yet. Yeah, engine protection bars, yeah. Commentator did that with both of his. You mean just saw it and bought it? Oran says, I like streamers like you that are chatting and discussing about personal interests with the chat. Yeah, I think it's important because yeah, we're all enjoying Flight Sim and we can chat away about you know, the grading of the Teflon rope, the escape rope there, or the features inside this, but it's an Airbus. Everyone knows that it's just a big computer. But it's nice sometimes to kind of stretch out beyond that and talk about other things. And I mean, look how many motorcyclists are in the chat. It's insane. I'm really tempted with that red one. That's bloody lovely. JP says, have you looked at Honda Africa Twin? My dad's had 2 of them, absolutely loved it. Similar bike to the Tiger. I buy cars without testing them first all the time. It doesn't always go well. So that Honda Africa, the Africa Twin has not got good reviews. In fact, at higher speeds, and specifically on the motorway, a lot of reviewers have said it seems very unstable and very unsettled, and not very comfortable in comparison to a lot of others. So the commentator says he got his current one from Bournemouth before I had the license, so it was the only way to do it. Got it delivered and they took my old one away. Oh god, I'm so tempted then. The thing is, they'll just come and go, won't they? That red one will get sold. Another one will appear at some point. That looks pristine though, my god. The thing is, I wouldn't want to buy it and then have to insure it without a license, if that makes sense. I don't think the home insurance would allow me to have it covered. Davis is considering how little willpower that I had when I got the Boeing yoke. Yeah. Oh, I've just accidentally clicked order. Am I that bad? Impulsive. I mean, I would argue it's decisive. I decide and that's it. I've done it. I think the red one is what my other half's stepdad was on about yesterday. He said he found one that was kind of down his neck of the woods with less than 1,500 miles on the clock. And he said that. Didn't say where it was. He said it was red. I reckon it was that one that he was on about. He said it was about 11.5. I just don't know how it works with, like, can you buy a bike but then have it year limited mileage warranty, 1 year roadside assistance cover, 1 year MOT, certified vehicle quality check, vehicle history and mileage check, and finance available. John, that's a tough one. If you've got Microsoft Flight Simulator Premium Deluxe, then download the Kuro 787. That's a whopper. It's so good. To be fair, I wonder if I could order it. Do you know what I mean? Like, pay the deposit and say to them, look, I need you to store it for 2 months. Don't deliver it yet. I need to sort out security in my garage. Get all of that kind of sorted out. And then it will mean that it will get it delivered kind of end of October, close to when I start my riding, if that makes sense. Yeah, if you don't have Premium Deluxe and you don't have a Dreamliner though, then try 747. That has been vastly improved in AAU2. I'm still yet to try that actually. We need to do that in a stream soon, maybe next week. Yeah. They would charge you for storage then, Nuke, Rab says. How much would the storage be? Andrew, well, it is, but it's kind of not in a way, if that makes sense. It's kind of the 600 cc's of 10 years ago. I reckon I could just say, look, I'm going on holiday for X amount of weeks, and then I need to make sure that I've got the security ready in my garage. Could you just give us a hand with not delivering it so quickly? Well, I mean, my other half, her stepdad, has actually test rode one. Before he got his Hayabusa, in fact, he test rode one, and he said he almost bought it because it was so good. So I know it's a good bike, and he's been riding for years and years and years and years. And he's tested it and tried it, and he said it's really good. So I've got that to go on. I know it's a great bike, and all of the reviews have said they've been blown away by how nice it is to ride. So I've got all of that kind of in the back of my mind, thinking I'm not going to know. Maybe I'll just throw my name out there and give it a go. Captain Shaquille says, "Can you in the UK can you ride with a permit? Here we can ride with a licensed rider, but it must be within 2 miles from them." No, none of that. You've got to have a full license for it. I know. I'm actually going to text my other half's stepdad and be like, "Is it mad? Shall I just buy it?" And then I'd have to actually physically go and see it though, wouldn't I? To be fair, actually, oh no, he can't ride. He's still recovering from his op. I was going to say, to be fair, I could just get him to take it for a test ride to see what he thinks, but he can't ride yet. Maybe that's another reason. I could just say to them, can't get it delivered yet, and also we can't test ride it. Lots of aeroplanes over there on the old TCAS. Little bit of advisory. Ah, 1, 2, 3 aircraft. Sheesh. Let's have a look at some of the Triumph used garages. Tiger 900 GT Pro filter. Oh, hello. You know, we just pulled a blue one up. For 250 quid more, it has an Arrow exhaust retrofitted on it as well. Bam. And a metal top box. Not a comfy top box though. I don't know, does the blue look better? I feel like the blue looks better. Where's that one gone? Let me. Oh no, red. Sorry, it was red, wasn't it? Look at that for a comparison. Not sure about the red. Can't go wrong with black, can you? Oh, either way, they've got in stock brand new as well. Look, 13895, 0 miles, and they throw in free pannier and top box. That's worth £2,000 with all GT Pros in stock and available now, with tax thrown in and 2 years warranty and delivery. Yeah, the blue looks really special, doesn't it? Oh, where's it gone? Look at that. They're the colour options: blue, black, white, and red. Still on Langen radar. Whoops. I've got a matte black helmet, if that helps. Shoei GT Air 2. That silver blue, that one you're on about there. That kind of style. Hold on. Where's that one come from? Oh, that's the Croydon one. Oh god, I've got so many tabs open. Oh dear. Like David says, you know where this is going. Hold on, that's the same bike. How many miles has this one got on it? 1,842. The black's nice, but it's got a metal top box. But notice with the back of the top box there, you've got the hinge, right? With the red one, look at the top box there. It's got a pad on it. So if you just kind of lean back a little bit, you've got a little bit of padding there. Well, I suppose that's more for the pillion though. It's like a little pillion back seat thing, but anything red is a target. I mean, the blue looks really special, doesn't it? Look at that. And I've got a black jacket with bits of grey and 2 little red lines on where the zips are for the vents. I've got black trousers, black boots, black gloves, matte black helmet, with obviously reflective strips and things like that too. But that, I think, maybe the blue. Look at that. Blue metallic. Trekker panniers, Trekker top box, lower engine bars, fuel tank protection. Yes, this has got the crash, the engine and fuel tank protection on it. Tank pad as well. That's good. 2023 model, one owner from new, 1,842 miles. Well, hold on, they've had it since April, done 1,842 miles on it. It's only May, June, July, so that in 4 months they've racked up 1,842 miles, then got rid of it in 4 months. Why? Why would you do that? Representative image, not actual bike. Why have they not pictured the actual bike in here then? Yeah, that's the blue. That's beautiful, isn't it? Andrew says blue is for you. Don't know, what do you guys reckon? I don't like the idea of white at all. But as you can see, by the end of the day I'll have it ordered. Wasp says because it's wrapped around a lamppost somewhere and is being repaired. Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? 4 months in and they've maybe they've dropped it and the engine's gone out of. It's a very carefully balanced T-crank. Andy says it's in many pieces. I think it doesn't say here that it's damaged. Andy says go new and just go for blue. Go a brand new one. I suppose instead of it being new, I could just get the this one where it's cheaper, 13,895, and you have a brand new one, but it's just in stock, ready for delivery. And then I'd be like, give me a blue one, and give me the free panniers and top box. When does this end? Yeah, free pannier and top box with all Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pros in stock and available now. Black's just a little bit like, I don't know, a little bit doesn't pop enough. That blue is really nice. The red one's nice as well, but I think the blue one just kind of is it's a little standout special, that one, isn't it? Not many blue ones available, to be fair. The fact is, it comes with an included top box is nice. And then I can call them and say, upgrade them to the best ones, the metal ones, for free for me, because I'm going to pay cash. Darth says, if you want to be sure, go visit it. Blue looks good. Yeah, I think I do need to zip up to Triumph, or zip down to Triumph, and have a little look there. I can't get my head around, yeah, interesting, there's two of you guys who said it's in many pieces, wrapped around a lamppost. That one in Croydon where it's like, no image available, representative image only. I would imagine there's damage on it and they haven't said. And then, yeah, they're going to repair it, pretend it's all new and nothing's happened with it, do you know what I mean? So that, to me, would be like a no-no. I think I would be tempted to go brand new as well, you know. Not brand new, but like that, where it's been ordered in stock, available for immediate delivery kind of thing. Fabio says, hey guys, is the Belgrade terminal floating based on the camera angle? I haven't been there yet, I don't know. Good day to you. Right, let's see what the weather is doing in beautiful Belgrade. So run the METAR commands. Interestingly, variable winds there. It's only 6 knots, but 070 mean, but variable between 350 and 140 degrees. That's quite a switch, isn't it? 33 degrees, 18 degrees for the dew point, QNH 1014. Darth, yes, so the bits that have been thrown in for free, it's new stock that's like been ordered. It might be like a test rider bike or something like that, test bike or something. Or it's kind of bounced back, if that makes sense. Well, it's, you know, somebody's ordered it and then the sale, they pulled out the sale at the last minute, but because it's already been a factory order, it's been built and sent to the dealership. Some dealerships will buy, same with cars as well, they will spec a certain number of cars up. So yeah, all of the dealerships, the cars do it as well. But yeah, then you basically have a brand new bike delivered to the dealership that's registered with them, and they'll just sell it as a kind of available for immediate delivery. That's how they term it. Which, interestingly, they have the deal at Oxford for that. So perhaps I'll run up there. But Wasp's saying there is advice: go to a reputable dealer, talk to them and see if they have any pre-owned bikes that have been returned with low mileage, as the rider did not like it. You then don't lose the VAT, warranty and warranty. Mario, welcome aboard. Thanks for subscribing. Fabio says, do you know if the Fenix A321 will be released with the Sharklets version as well this year? Oh, I can't remember what they said, to be honest. Maybe. Someone else might remember that a bit better than me. What were we doing? Winds. So 070 at 6. And we're expecting 12, right? So we've got a 5 knot crosswind and a 3 knot headwind with the wind as it is in the METAR. Now, if that backs all the way back to 350, it's suddenly going to be a couple of knots of a tailwind instead. But it's all fine. We should be good for that anyway. What we will do is... prep the charts and then go through the arrival stuff. So, where are we? We're over Austrian airspace at the moment, so we've got to cross the Alps first, and then in Hungarian airspace we can kind of think about configuring the actual arrival, but we can talk about it now anyway. 148 nautical miles between Sassel and Kerop to get the arrival procedure put in. And then we're going to be expecting the TSAC 2 Charlie arrival, which is going to enter via TSAC from the north, 186 degrees down to Belgrade 114, max 230 knots. From there, Indija's NDB 485, max 230 between 5 and 7,000 feet. Then heading 297 degrees to Belgrade 112, max 230 still, turning onto base at 101, inbound 117 degrees, the ILS 12 right, via there, like that. In fact, Indija. Okay. We're not even doing that then, I don't think. We're just going to have no vias. So instead of going via Devda, we're going to go Indija, and then we're going to turn straight in. So Indija 191 degrees, step down to Lamba 117, 3,000 feet at Lamba, final approach. A little bit of work for us to do there. Airport elevation 336, transition altitude is going to be about 11,000 feet. Minimums 522. Peter, hello. He's just bought a 1,000-mile Hyundai Tucson X Demo. Dealers have to pre-register cars. The same with bikes to hit their targets. Absolutely, that's it. So they'll order 10 or 15 in over the period of 6 months, and then they'll sell them at a slightly discounted rate than a brand new to order car or bike. And it then means that people are more inclined to buy it because it's a little bit cheaper. They feel like they're getting a deal, and they are. And then they, yeah, the dealerships hit the targets, as Peter says. But it means you can get some good savings. Andy says, finally got the 788 to work properly. Turned out the lights were bound to switches on the Bravo throttle when they were removed. Happy days. Ah. Yeah, the flick switches. Those lights are a pain in the backside. I've ended up removing them all entirely for all of the aircraft, to be fair, because otherwise it gets a little bit messy. In fact, I don't use those switches at all. And I don't even use the autopilot control panel. $2,000, yeah, it's roughly that amount that I would save getting this pre-registered bike as well, actually brand new. So with the top boxes included, that bike brand new is about 16,000. So if I take that 100 and then it'd be 32. Oh, hold on. £3,200 of that is VAT. So actually, it's buying it VAT free. Plus 200 quid. I've just ordered my back plate as well, a back protector for my jacket, because it doesn't come with one. and I purchased using Infinity Motorcycles, and that's basically, I think for every X amount of pounds I spent, I got a voucher. I ended up with 60 quid's worth of free vouchers to buy, so I've got a back protector for 50 quid being delivered in the next few days. I'll whack that in the back of my jacket. I need to get like a neck gaiter as well, actually. When I walk to the dentist later on, I might give Triumph Oxford a call, ask them what they've got. No, Darren, you know what they wanted me to buy? They wanted to buy a rucker. They were saying obviously they are the best you can get. So I very nearly did, but the jacket itself, one jacket was £1,500, and I looked at the guy and I went, it's my first jacket, I can't justify spending that amount of money on a jacket. And he laughed and he goes, that's a fair point. So I've ended up getting a Revit jacket instead. It's a really nice jacket, to be fair. The venting system's patented, it's really good. Flying Panda says, I enjoy watching someone go through the process of a large purchase in the same way that I do. I'm glad it's not just me then. Wow, 14 years, still good. I think maybe like in a year or two I would upgrade to like a complete rucker kit, because they're so good. They are so impressive. And they're expensive for a reason. All that research and development, all the testing, all the performance and stuff that goes into them. Beautiful Alps. I need to sort my garage out first, really. I need to put in a ground anchor and a few other bits. What beautiful views. Oh wow, you've got a 17-year-old Fireblade. No electronics on that. Very nice. I'm curious actually, how many of you guys actually ride in the winter? And also, what are your thoughts when I'm doing my direct access in November? I'm going to be, middle of it. Second week of November would be my mod 1 test, or maybe the third week of November. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, second week of November would be my mod 1 test, and then a week later I would be doing my mod 2 test. So effectively I'd be getting my bike license at the very beginning of December, effectively. What I then don't want to do is go, yeah, I've done it, and then the bike stays in the garage the whole time. Apparently, when the salt is on the roads, Rab, they are the grippiest times for you to ride a bike, apparently. That's what my instructor said to me yesterday, because we were chatting about performance bikes, his Hayabusa and all the rest, and he goes, the best time that you can ride for the maximum grip is when the gritters have just been out. He goes, it's a misrepresentation of the weather. People think, oh, the gritters are out, therefore it's icy. Well, actually, it's the grippiest time to ride. Darren, nice. Oh, I'm Simon Muscles. I didn't know you knew Simon. He's got a great bike, absolutely. He does, yeah, I suppose, yeah, the corrosion of it and things. You might know my instructor from yesterday then, Darren. He's a colleague of mine. And he's at TDQ. Leaf, he was my CBT instructor. I mean, the 125 made me feel like I just wasn't a natural rider, but I think it's just because the bike was also pretty rubbish to ride on. So I think it was just making it hard work, and then I was making it quite hard work as well for myself. It didn't help my knee protectors are in the wrong place. I've got big red marks on my knees still because they weren't quite set up perfectly. I only found out when I got on the bike. I didn't want to put my hand up and go, can I go and take my trousers off to replace my knee guards to a different position? Rab, I bet. Standing up on the pegs. I'm very tempted to go and throw myself into a call to Triumph Oxford and say, look, have you got any of those sexy blue ones? Just to see what they say. And then I'll go from there. And then I'll ask the question, how much would it cost to store it for 2 months for me while I get everything sorted out? Or no, I've pretty much killed the idea of the private pilot's license thing, I think. I'm going to try the BA pilot sponsorship thing that's coming out. Beyond that, I've kind of it's just too expensive. I can't justify splashing that sheer amount of cash constantly. Certainly every year, spending 3 to 5 grand just to keep the license in date. I can't justify that. Just for effectively what would be a hobby, because I wouldn't be able to afford to progress any further beyond a PPL. So then I've kind of decided it seems pointless unless it's going to actually achieve an ATPL at the end of it. Yeah, he did actually fly in Panda yesterday. He was talking about nodding to other bikers and all that kind of thing. How are we doing? Sassal already? No way. Is that the waypoint that I mentioned a minute ago? Oh, it is. Choffing heck. We're almost there. So I'm just going to have a quick look at my OFP. Fuel estimations. Sassal 4.7. $5.1. So I'm going to quickly scribble that down. Estimated Sassal 4.7, and then as we cross that, I'll have a look at the difference, and then we'll factor that into our landing performance, or our arrival performance there. But in the meantime, we'll commit to the arrival. So arriving on ILS 12 right via the TSAC 2 Charlie. Transition none. Let's just have a look at the options anyway. Devda, Loga, India Alpha, Tikvu. To be fair, actually, transition would be India Alpha, I think. Let's have a look to see what that translates to, though, on the map, just in case I've buggered it up. So, we'll scroll through the plan. Oh yes, there we go, perfect. That's quite nice. So that's what we'll be doing. A little bit of a steep step down towards Lambert at 3,000. Tikvu, no, so Indija. Yeah, Lambert at 3 for 4 miles. So I'm actually going to change that. That should have amended the top of descent as well, further back. So if we're on the TSAC care up there, it's pushed it back another 20 miles, or 10 miles or so. So, done, set, happy days, as Doc's saying. In real life, you'd be vectored straight to the ILS. What else? Performance page. And we had a look at the METAR a little while ago, don't we? Or didn't we, I should say. We've got LYBE approach. Mihail, thank you very much to you. Very kind of you to connect with some ATIS and some ATC today. And that's 133.1. 1331. That's all good. Set. Catch you later, commentator. I hope so, Darren. Yeah, Fenix does need a weather radar. Most of the aircraft in the sim need a weather radar, really. It's taken a very long time for a lot of them to even kind of bother trying, but I guess their kind of go-to excuse, isn't it, is we don't have one available because the sim's limited to not let us do that. So that's the META. Within the ATIS, sorry. So it's information Delta currently, as of 11:30 Z, 070 degrees at 6 knots, but variable between 350 to 140. So it could back, it could veer around our approach path, given a little bit of wobbliness. Temperature's 33 degrees Celsius, really nice and hot. The dew point, big spread, only 18 degrees. And the QNH 1014. Expect ILS runway 12 right in use with braking action good. Runway 12 left and 30 right closed. Advise controller on first contact. If unable to accept or do not have 12 right in your sim, in advise information Delta. Matthew, good morning to you, buddy. Leonardo's Mad Dog has a weather radar. It does, yeah. That's a good point. One of the only kind of payware aircraft to have one. Nice that it does. Does it only show the precipitation though, like the other weather radars in the sim, as opposed to displaying kind of clouds, turbulence? 33 0706. And the minimums we spoke about then a moment ago on the charts, 522. Barrow. That's the approach page configured. Oh, that's a point actually. Radnav. So let's clear Epsom. We don't need that. I'm going to tune in the Indonesia NDB 485. We'll plop that into ADF2. Belgrade 11205. Yeah, I mean it'll auto tune it for us, but we'll just commit it to, anyway. It's already picking up Bravo Golf Delta. That's good. And the inbound course, we could set that to 117 if we want to actually, as a kind of backup for if the ILS failed on us. And the inbound course there, YBG for the ILS, the 3-letter code, 109.5 for the frequency, and the course 117. Happy days. That looks really good. Done. Look ahead to when we're going to vacate as well. In fact, ooh, there's a Cat 2-3 ILS. We'll do Cat 1. I'll just hand fly it for the last little bit again because I quite like doing that. But if we're doing a Cat 2, we'd put the rad out to 97. It's no different. It's basically the same. Just using rad out instead of barometric, like kind of pressure altitude for the minimums. And the rest of the data's the same. 1-2 right then, the new runway, long displaced threshold, look at that, really big displaced threshold there. So it's going to look a bit weird actually, it will look a lot higher than we actually are. Because psychologically if we look down here we're going to want to go down here, so we're going to have to throw our vision all the way up to the touchdown zone, align with these, well with the windsock there and probably up to Delta 5 and work from there. But yeah, long displaced threshold. We can take off on that potentially if it has the arrows. Maybe not. We'll have to see when we get there what it looks like. And then also touching down beyond that displaced threshold only. And then probably vacate Delta 6. If not, Delta 7 right at the bottom. Nice long runway though, so Delta 6 should be more than enough. And then down Alpha back to the terminal building. To wherever ATC tell us to park. With that, let's have a look to see what the landing performance gives us. This is usually pretty botched, isn't it? Runway 12. Ooh. Oh, Adria Centre. 1300. Looks like we've got full ATC all the way in. Not long to top of descent either. Where are we going? We're going inbound Kerop. 370.
Unicom 1 bye-bye.
Unicom 1 Belgrade, with 0561, bye-bye.
Adria Radar, good afternoon, Air Serbia 42 Victor, flight level 370, inbound Kerop.
Serbia 42 Victor, Adria Radar contact.
Adria, good afternoon, with Air 29er to Okana
47, add 200, so estimated landing weight 63. 0.1. Low order brake. We'll use max reverse for now to see what it gives us. Full flap, and we will refresh the METAR, fly the METAR. Conditions are dry. Wow, good as well, technically. Dry will be fine. And that's what it's given us. 2,153 meters for the stop. We use idle reverse, doesn't really change it very much. 2172 over 2152, it just changes by 20 meters there. So we'll use low auto brake, max reverse, full flap. And then as we decelerate, we'll be looking for the exit, and we might just get rid of the auto brake to then come to a rolling deceleration, and use manual brakes to then vacate. So we've selected low auto brake. We've done all of that, cross-checked all the data. We're happy with all of that, and fueling's good. Doc says request Charlie 8. I think the controller's watching, so hopefully. Birdman, wow! His son just bought a Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Plus. It's an incredible bike. That's got the active cruise control, hasn't it, with the radar? That's a remarkable motorbike, my goodness. Really cool. But
what is the transition level here?
I was looking at one of those. I figured it wouldn't be a great first bike. A little bit too wild on the throttle, apparently. Darren says he uses Orbex Essential, and when I press the tab key, the display appears. When I click GSX, I have to press the tab key again, then select GSX, then it works.
Very good afternoon, Air Serbia 387, flight level 370.
I'll have to look into what Orbex Essential is.
2051, Air Serbia 387.
Alright, I've got an AMD Ryzen 970 900X, I think, with the RTX4090 GPU and some 64 gig DDR5 RAM.
Hello, Sierra 2081, flight level 34, impact quantity.
How are we doing? Oh, by the way, I've got the brand new graphics driver installed as well that came out 2 to 3 days ago. Wasn't sure how well it was going to work, but it's doing alright so far. And so is the Fenix. Oh, Parallel 42 Flow Pro, Darren. Yeah, that got you. Sorry. Yeah, Flow Essential. Yeah, Birdman, that's it. That Tracer 9 GT Plus is a bloody impressive bike. The stuff that it can do is just insane. Market leading in a lot of the tech. It's kind of like the S-Class Mercedes of the motorbike world, that kind of category of bike, isn't it? Where a lot of really advanced stuff comes out first. Any advice on how I can change it to one press only? Check you've got the most up-to-date one, Darren, because it should already, for me, right. If I was to just click that now, it would be fine. Descent 290 by Kerop Air Serbia 42 Victor. I'm going to change this. Oh, hold on. Slash flight level 290. There's no GSX profile for Belgrade, unfortunately, the sim guy.
The 387 descent flight level 270 to reach by Babbitt.
Descend to flight level 270, level by Babbitt for Air Serbia 387.
Gentle descent. Just letting VNAV tackle this, because we don't do enough of these VNAV descents in the Fenix, because before the V2 update it was just a mess for me. I found it quite unreliable, so we're throwing it a bit of a challenge. I've set 290 at Kerup on the VNAV. There's a kind of a constraint for Kerup just to see how it handles it, and then we're doing managed descent now. So VNAV's got it, 1,000 foot per minute rate of descent by the looks of it. And it reckons, according to that bottom of descent marker, we'll be there just in time. WC Reynolds, are we still using the VATSIM FDU hardware with Fenix upgrades? No, I haven't used that for quite some time, to be honest. This guy stopped making them as well, but yeah, I haven't actually installed it on the new computer at all, to be honest. No directs, Rap. Just in me route. Direct Bombi, direct Tenlo, direct Lamsey, direct Sydney, direct Sassel, direct Kerup, direct Tisak. Matthew says, cool little fact, Airbus only calculates a flight idle descent to the first constraint in the box. After that, it will follow a constant path descent to get it to recalculate a flight idle. Descent after leveling off, you can re-enter the cost index. Wow. Okay, so if you're a cost index of 30, you just go back in and throw 30 back in to the box, and it will then kind of recalculate that again. That might be a really good tip for people that struggle with descent energy, where it's kind of running away from you and descending a bit too steeply. Maybe that's a really clever way of kind of tackling that. Just refresh the cost index. Get it to recalculate itself. That's pretty neat. I suppose a descent idle though is a much steeper rate of descent, isn't it? Are there any circumstances then, Matthew, where you would use that in real life, flying the Airbus? Or would you predominantly just use kind of one of these modes?
And Alpha 517 request further descent. Alpha 517, I cleared you to 5,000 feet. Oh, sorry, we didn't hear that. So okay to 5,000, Alpha 517. Air Serbia 42 Victor, continue descent, flight level 200.
Yeah, descent flight level 200, Air Serbia 42 Victor.
Air Serbia A387, continue descent level 220.
David, do it. It's not too difficult to be fair. Just open the flight deck door, walk down, pick a window, save your cost of view. About 120 track miles left. $125, there we go. Oh Rab, yeah, you might see David. Is it David flying behind? Somebody flying behind. We'll set the standby instrument to the local pressure. Incumbus. Oh, you know what? I'd have to try it in both again just to kind of refresh myself. It's been a while. I think in the 737, I think you leave it in LNAV and VNAV mode, and then you have to recycle the flight directives when you turn the autopilot off. I think, if I remember that rightly. I'm trying to remember now. Can't exactly remember off the top of my head. But in this, if it's an LNAV, VNAV, RNAV arrival, you should be able to go into the final approach mode by pressing approach, and then it would fly as if it's a GPS version of an ILS. Matthew saying, every flight, stars often descend us early, and ATC holds us at a lower altitude. VNAV will then show us several thousand feet high, even though we're not. And even if we were, then to dry the plane, would do an excessively high descent rate to recapture the profile. Instead, with re-entering the cost index, we can prevent an excessively low vertical path from being drawn. Yeah, Doc's saying there on the 737s you can also press approach on RNAV. The difference is on the Boeing 737 it will change to FAC glide path mode instead of final approach on the A320. Same mode, different name. And by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen the news, but Horizon Simulations now have finally come out and said that they are making a 787-9. The only approach you don't press approach for is a lock-only approach. There we go. Darren, yeah, I've got my frames fixed to 62 frames per second specifically. Contact Belgrade radar 133.1, Air Serbia 42 Victor. Thanks for the ATC, have a good day. It's Echo now for the ATIS. NH1014 still though. Weather 09087. Still 33 degrees. Belgrade radar, good afternoon. Air Serbia 42 Victor, Airbus A320 with Echo. And currently flight level 290 for flight level 200 inbound TSAC.
Air Serbia 42 Victor, very good afternoon. Belgrade radar identified information echo current. Follow TSAC to Charlie arrival for ILS approach runway 12 right.
TSAC 2 Charlie arrival, ILS 12 right, Serbia 42 Victor. Yeah, I think it comes down to company policy in Incumbus, but also maybe spec of the aircraft. Some airlines will pay for certain things, some will leave certain features out because of cost. Certainly, like some of the lower cost airlines might skip certain bits to leave it a little bit more basic, but I think it's tough. It depends on what it all is. I think it depends on what's fitted to the aircraft as well. It depends what the company policies are. There's so much variation with it. Just do what you think works for you, and try both actually as well. Try both, experiment with it, see what works. It's probably the best thing I can suggest. Alright, re-enter your cost index and see if they modelled this correctly. It should recalculate your vertical path. So currently our vertical path is just below us there. So let's go to 30, it's wiped out the cruise. I've re-entered it. Do I need to level off though for it? Nothing changed. Maybe I'll try cost index of 15. Oh, hold on. Well, it kind of went up, which then commanded the flight directors up, and then it went down massively. But that's because obviously it was telling the aeroplane to decelerate, and now we've lost the path completely. Enable that, we shall use a little bit of speed brake. Matthew says they didn't model it in the Fenix. Oh well, to be fair, that is a really obscure Airbus quirk. It's a pretty cool Airbus quirk though. Like if you know about it, it might be something you'd be inclined to try frequently. To be fair. Clipper, yeah, as long as you've got it in the app, the Fenix program, every time it's updated, it'll show you there's a new package to download. Hey look, it has recalculated top of descent there, Matthew.
Initial climb 6,000 feet, scope 5255.
I'm going to set 3 because he's told me to follow the arrival.
Belgrade, radar Air Serbia A320 descending to 220 to 240 inbound rig move.
FB 387, hello Belgrade radar identified.
Yeah, hopefully you saw that. Maybe that's what you're on about there, Matthew. If that's the case, there's a new top of descent marker there that had appeared. We changed the cost index to 15. Maybe it just needed a minute to recalculate it itself.
SW42 Victor, descend flight level 120.
Descend flight level 120, Serbia 40 Victor.
SW37, descend flight level 170.
170, Air Serbia 387.
Wings 8, Hotel
it's the flight level 200 level off.
Climb unrestricted flight level 140.
Fair enough. Good to know. We're doing a flight idle descent again. We'll descent on idle.
Direct Tondo.
Direct Tondo, Euroing 6
Sim guy, no idea. Whenever they feel it is ready, it's the only thing I can kind of say. Bing. Hey Mark, welcome buddy. The boy Smythe. How you been? Hope you're doing well. It's been a while.
SB42 Victor, turn right heading 200.
Right 200, Air Serbia 40 Victor. Just gonna wind down that a little bit just to kill the rate of descent a bit in the turn. And it looks like we're venturing into some vectors now. So, this scenery, Fly2 High, it's been released. Currently, it's only available
down to 150, Serbia 307.
It's only available on iniBuilds at the moment for the next couple of days. I think it's an exclusive thing. Why the developers do it, I don't know. But yeah, effectively, it's
Hotel Bravo for separation, turn right heading 0.
I was thinking, I'm too busy thinking about the ATC. Yeah, it will come out on some other places in the near future, so you don't have to buy it via iniBuilds. I'm hoping it will come out on something like Contrail. Who knows? Boy Smythe, nice. Congratulations. New house, new job. Wow, double whammy. We're waiting to move. Life's getting in the way of being here as regular. That's fine. I get how busy that is. It's a very, very busy time in life, isn't it? That.
SB42 Victor, descend 7,000 feet, QNH 1014.
Descend 7,000 feet, QNH 1014, Serbia 40 Victor. (1014) set. Standby instruments set. That's all good. I'm going to let the speed come off now as well. Just going to manually select that. We are on descent idle though.
SB37, turn left heading 080.
Left 080.
We're mailing good timing. Birdman says, Luke, he says on the he says the ACC on the Tracer 9 active cruise control makes riding so much easier from his previous bikes. That's interesting. It's such a weird kind of thing, isn't it, on a motorbike? I think that you've got this this crazy kind of active cruise control on a bike, which can slow you and get you going and stuff in traffic. Got one ahead of us there. 3,600. What the heck? Something blasting over on TCAS. I don't know what that was. Somebody in slew mode, I think, or sim acceleration or something rogue. Can't do that on VATSIM. Clipper, I don't think you can do that, can you? In most big payware, like good, high quality payware add-ons, I don't think it's an option.
Wings 8 Hotel Bravo, climb flight level 200.
Climbing 200, Wings 8 Hotel Bravo.
Let's keep the speed coming down because we're about to enter kind of a bit of a zone that's max speed 230, so we'll try and achieve that if we can. I didn't know that, Clipper. You know what I forgot? Landing lights. Lights, signs. Get the crew sat down. 500 to go.
Wings 8 Hotel Bravo, no further ATC, monitor Uniform 12 decimal 8, bye.
Thank you, bye bye.
We'll arm the ground spoilers, because I don't anticipate needing those again.
SBA 42 Victor, turn left heading 150, descend 4,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 12 right, report established.
Left 150, descend 4,000, cleared ILS 12 right, report established, Air Serbia 40 Victor. Through the green dot to flaps 1. $24 miles to run. So our green dot is our minimum clean speeds. If we're going to go below that, we've got to extend flaps.
SW 387, turn right heading 200, descend 7,000 feet, QNH 1014.
Right heading 200 down to 7,000 feet, QNH 1014, SB 387.
I love this sim, it's bloody brilliant. Look at that. Just spectacular. A little bit bumpy. We've got those variable winds to think about, haven't we? Nothing that we can't deal with though. There's the magenta line for the lateral guidance. 5,400 feet sets. And we'll keep the speed up because we know we've got people behind. I'll only kind of decelerate to 180 in a little while. Some little froze up there a little bit. Oh, Sam Jono, it's night and day compared. I can actually use and enjoy this latest version of the Fenix. I really like it. Interesting that the tilt is always +1, and even if I rotate the tilt, it doesn't actually change. If you guys notice that. Just get rid of the radar anyway, because it doesn't work. Okay, heading mode, speed, altitude, 4,000, leveling off. Arm approach modes, because we are going to be establishing imminently. So heading and alt star active. Cat 3 singles ready. Glide slope and lock are armed. They have Birdman, yeah. Kevo, I still prefer the PMDG 737. That's my personal favourite still, pretty solidly.
Belgrade Beauty 5 Alpha, flight level 390, red bar.
Beauty 5 Alpha, Belgrade radar, hello, you are way outside of my airspace.
There's one behind 5,000. Okay. And there goes the music. Go crew seats for landing. Yeah, it's almost as nice as the approach into London Luton. Yeah. Renowned for its beauty, that.
Down to 4,000 feet, Air Serbia 387.
Alright, quick final check of the overhead, lights and signs, that's all good. We'll get the cabin secure. And there we go. Air Serbia 42 Victor's established 12 miles ILS. 12, right.
Air Serbia 42 Victor.
There's the runway.
Continue approach runway 12 right, speed 160 knots until 6 DME.
Continue approach 12 right, 160 till 60 me, Air Serbia 40 Victor. Is it 160 till 4, I think he said? Was it? Did he say 160 till 6? Or did I entirely mishear him? Collapse 2. 11 miles. We're on the glide slope now, so we've got to be a bit careful about energy management. We might need to deploy gear just to help decelerate the aeroplane, but I've gone flap 2 early just to help increase that drag. Or around till 6. Yeah, I thought so. Usually it's till 4, isn't it? Anyway, glide slopes alive, locks active, AP 1 and 2, flaps 2. Let's go gear down now.
GT5 Alpha, what the arrival should we do? Is it the ECLAC?
You can expect LGB3 Alpha, GT5 Alpha.
LGB3 Alpha, copy, GT5 Alpha.
That will be a 37, turn left heading 110, clear Dallas approach runway 12 right, report established.
Left 110, clear Dallas, 12 right, report established, Air Serbia A320.
Here we go. Flap 3, just to help the nose. It's a weird pitch angle, isn't it, with this? It always seems like it's canted a lot further forward than... the Fly2 A320NX.
Air Serbia 37, continue left turn heading 090.
Matthew says, you see what flaps 3 in the A319 looks like? Full flap. You like gear down 3 green. And full flap green. Like that, I suppose.
Air Serbia 42 Victor, runway 12 right, clear to land, wind 090 degrees 7 knots.
12 right, clear to land, Serbia 42 Victor. Okay, there's a problem. Autopilot, auto thrust disengaged. Autopilot disengaged. It did not like that, did it, folks? I went to full flap, and I went to managed speed. I get the feeling it's not activated approach phase. Shouldn't that automatically do that? Pretty sure it should. I'm sure it's. I thought it's meant to self-approach 15 nautical miles beforehand. I forgot to click it, but I'm pretty certain it was meant to kind of do that for us.
And Serbia 387 established.
Just get restable here. And now we're going old school. No auto thrust, no autopilot.
We want to right, reduce the minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach speed 387.
Sim's locked again. Still locked. Whoa, hello.
1000.
I don't know if it's loaded in things here or not. But it is kind of a little bit stutterly.
And Belgrade radar, good afternoon. Osprey 4843.
Ah, interesting. So,
descending,
Matthew's saying only if you pass Circle D on the flight plan. Lots of stutters here all of a sudden. Look at this. Someone's mentioned it with the new scenery. It's making it almost impossible to just hand fly an ILS.
Osprey 4840.
Alright, we're flying a visual approach anyway. I'm not worried about the glide slope. I've got right, so interestingly actually we've got 3 white, but the glide slope says we're too low. Now we've got 2 red, 2 white. Look at the glide slope difference. That's not configured correctly at all. Look at that. We've got 2 red, 2 white on the Pappies. That's a better profile. The ILS is well out, folks, on this new scenery. Looking up.
40, 30, 20, retard.
It's a really annoying stutter right at the end there. Okay, touchdown. Gently down on the nose wheel. That handling was beautifully improved from the last one last week. Reverse green, decel, 80 knots.
Descend to flight number 150, descent following the decel 1 charm. Correction, decel 2
60, manual brakes, just to help the deceleration. And we'll get rid of the reversers. Yeah, that was so much more improved. Really impressed with that. Fenix have done a great job with the improvements to landing behaviour there. That was actually beautiful. Very tough though. I mean, I'm surprised at the discrepancy there with the ILS. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the glide slope pretty much wanted us a couple of 100 feet above where we should have been on the glide slope. Really bizarre.
SRB42 Victor, taxi stand Charlie 2 via Alpha Golf Foxtrot.
Standard choice Alpha Golf Foxtrot, Air Serbia 40 Victor, thanks to the ATC.
SRB42 Victor, negative, stand Charlie 2 via Alpha Golf Foxtrot.
I misheard you, stand Charlie 2. Alpha Golf Foxtrot. Okay, let's get the airplane cleaned up. So flaps up, spoilers disarmed. Oops.
Belgrade radar.
Clear the warning.
The 5 Alpha. We're descending flight level 200. LGAP for the LGAP 3 Alpha.
Osprey 4840, turn right heading 190.
Strobes off. AP bleed on.
Osprey 4840.
Jolly good.
Beauty 5
Doc.
Alpha, Belgrade radar hello, identify.
It shouldn't cause stutters. Especially on a rig similar spec that I've got, and I can operate in and out of Heathrow stutter free. Yet this was popping and all sorts of weirdness. Beautiful touchdown there, look at that. Gently down with the nose wheel as well.
Oh yeah, that's
top job.
Correct. Expect an ILS.
Matthew says that our SOP is to go selected speed at 10,000 feet and activate approach phase as part of that flow along with lights to prevent that from happening. In theory, that is. Only if you pass the circle D on the flight plan will be when the Airbus will self-select that automatically the approach phase. Well, obviously because we were vectored, we never passed the decel point, as Matthew pointed out. Good reminder there. I completely forgot about that. Actually, we're getting vectored away from where the actual deceleration point should have been. It's caught me out a few times, that has actually, hasn't it? That little that quirk. But if in doubt, yeah, if it happens to you guys, don't worry too much. You could just go straight back into manual sort of speed select mode until you work it out and click the button down there. But you could just do what I did. Turn the auto thrust off, kill the throttle, turn the autopilot off, hand fly the whole thing.
Is there any chance for Charlie 10 for Air Serbia 307?
Matthew says it catches out guys on the line all the time in real life. That's really interesting.
So, I mean, you can try.
Okay, that's okay.
So the real drivers do it too.
For Air Serbia 387, thank you.
Osprey 4840, distance 7000.
Engine 2 off, let's go single engine taxi. Landing rate 179 foot per minute. Oh, right on the touchdown zone. Slightly off the centre line there. 1.13 G, really happy with that. Alpha, second left Golf, first right Fox towards those over there. Charlie, what was it? Charlie
5 Alpha, any chance of
2.
visual?
Sorry, say again?
Any chance of a visual approach, Beauty 5 Alpha?
Affirm, but it's not gonna get
Doc,
you any further.
they're specifically just to trigger you.
Beauty 5 Alpha,
oh, look at that, beautiful. Olympic.
QNH 1014.
It's Alpha Speed, QNH 1014, Beauty 5 Alpha. We were thinking if it would be possible to go from B, Bravo Echo 130 and then turn into final.
Is that meant to be a Cat 3 hold point? Remind me, folks, look at the charts. Oh, it is. Foxtrot, it's got the ladders for Cat 3 protection. Wow.
Serbia 183, pushback can start up
barely off the
west, QNH 1014.
Barely off the apron before you're holding for the runway in low vis. Okay, taxi lights off. Charlie 2, there's the stance, and turning in. Yeah, really weird positioning, isn't it?
183, you haven't got your clearance yet, so let me know when you're ready to copy that. I
don't understand why they built it this close.
Serbia
That seems
183,
like an unnecessary risk.
Lima 3 Delta departure runway 12 right, initial climb 6,000 feet, squawk 5255.
I'm going to assume we're going to stop where the 2 is, but so we'll go with whatever. We'll keep going, see whatever the marshaller says. Oops, a bit too heavy on the brake. Yeah, perhaps they'll move it later on.
Air Serbia 183, I can barely hear you. Please turn your microphone volume up a bit. Osprey 4840, can you confirm
engines
for
idle.
me that you have scenery with both runways?
And
I can confirm we have scenery with both
engine
runways.
1 off.
Okay, great. SB 183 a bit better.
Al-Ali, that is GSX Pro from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Look how dirty the windscreen is now. Sometimes he does Gangnam Style for very good parking, but we haven't seen it for a while, have we?
Alpha, do you think it's possible for a shortcut at Bravo Echo 130?
And it makes me very sad.
For a final?
That's not going to be possible now.
Okay, copy. Beautiful Alpha.
There we are. Oh, it's a beautiful looking terminal building so far, isn't it? Thank you, Matthew. Really appreciate it. It could have been a lot smoother. I think half of that is down to me looking at the live chat and kind of getting distracted by stuff and not just flying the plane. So I was being a little bit rough on the throttle and bits, but I was kind of trying to work out. I was thinking that the ILS just looked wrong. The glide slope, the vertical guidance looked wrong. So I kind of tried to settle the aeroplane where I thought it should have been, and that worked out better for us. And it was interesting to see that vertical guidance disappear up. I don't even know. Yeah, and I was thinking about motorbikes. I was actually on the phone to Triumph Oxford with one hand and flying a plane with the other. And then sipping a gin and tonic through a straw. So there's that displaced threshold that we were speaking about. So we can take off here. We can't land here yet though. But look at the shrinkage in comparison to the old runway, look. Threshold all up there. They trimmed a whole lot off the runway there. But the glide slope looked like it was trying to have us maybe touch down maybe here, as if this was kind of the threshold. That's kind of where it felt like the vertical guidance had ran off to, which is a bit weird because look at that difference. It should have been further up here. And certainly when we saw the Pappies, and we could see that actually we had at one point we were all the way up here, and we had 2 red, 2 white, didn't we, manually, which would have been here. Look at that alignment, much better.
UT5 Alpha after passing Bravo Echo 104.
Yeah,
approach,
and it would have had us right at the end of the touchdown zone, touching down. So that's not great. So I just thought, sod it, roll the dice, we'll fly it ourselves. Some building works, a little crossover point there as well on the scenery. We'll explore a little bit of it. Okay, I thought that was a cone. That's interesting. In the UK, stuff like that would never be allowed anywhere near the runway.
Right, heading 020, long way around.
Yeah, the default scenery is pretty rubbish. Yeah, windsocks are the correct way. That's always a good tick. Here's the old runway that's now dead. Belgrade's VOR, which is there.
4840, turn right, heading 030 now.
030, 4840.
Wasp says, nice stream, now go get your Tiger. Matthew's saying there's a pretty big problem with MSFS and its glide slopes. Yeah, it often takes us in too high anyway, doesn't it? But the difficulty here in the sim, I've spoke about it before, is it's very hard just to get your reference points and kind of get depth perception. It doesn't. It's struggling with. I've got a powerful bloody PC and it's stuttery when it's trying to load in the terminal here, which suggests to me that something's a little off with it.
Okay.
I don't know. What's really nice is they've done a bit of the backdrop too, so I think there's freeware to upgrade the city, which is very nice. They've done a little bit of this builder's yards. Well, probably a quarry by the looks of it, potentially. Potentially. He's done a bit of work there, which is a nice improvement. Look at that. Big freezes there. I think Zato's used the old runway. I think he doesn't have the new one. Yeah, it needs. I think they need to fix something with the optimization. So when it renders in the scenery, it just poops itself. With an RTX4090 and a really powerful CPU and 64 gig DDR5 RAM, it shouldn't be struggling like this. I can load JFK and zoom around there stutter free. Here, airport much smaller in size, it can't do that.
4840, turn right heading 090, descent 4000.
Couple of wider buildings, low resolution textures up close, but you don't need to kind of come all the way over here and see that up close. It just gives you a bit of pop. Look at that.
85 Alpha, runway 12 left, clear to land,
Big.
wind 120 degrees 6 knots.
Concrete, kind of Soviet-esque design. Hangar there, look at that. Remarkable. Bit of structure.
SB 183 taxi to holding point runway 12 right via Foxtrot and Alpha.
I'm not sure if that's meant to be a light though, because that's just a loose bit of texturing. Nice apron textures though, building work itself is really nice. Little general aviation sections, really nice part of the airport here. Prince and Air Pink apron. Little red hole point there too. Let's turn the drone cam down just to kind of slow it down instead of zooming about so crazily.
Just to confirm, it's 060 on the heading?
090 Osprey 4840.
What do we got here? Why is there an A320 Neo just plonked? Plonked there.
You can continue right turn heading 100
Right.
4840.
Let me turn my attention to Google Maps.
Let's continue the right turn to 100 Osprey.
Where are we? We're Belgrade. Belgrade Airport, Nikola Tesla. Right, let's see. What are you saying? I mean, that looks to me like an Aleutian or something like that, doesn't it? I wonder if we can...
Osprey 4840 on present heading clear, the LS approach runway 12 left.
Ah, photo spot. Oh, it's inside.
Ooh. We'll call it 7.
It lied. There's another photo spot. The terminal's there, which means... yeah, it's behind there, we can't see it. Yeah, it could be a DC-9 or something like that. But yeah, it doesn't. It looks weird, doesn't it, when they just plonked a shiny A320 there? It looks really out of place, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think? As we're going around, share your thoughts in the live chat as well. As Fly2 High, or Fly High, the developer, is in the live chat. Curious to hear your thoughts too. Badger, nice work, buddy. What have we got here?
SB 190 Golf identified, follow LG3 Alpha arrival.
There's a helipad there.
Right. Stop descent,
Hopefully that's spawnable.
Calling the LG3 Alpha arrival for runway 12 right and stopping descent at 150, Serbiana 19 Golf.
So that's kind of the extremis of the airport. There's a bit of an optimization issue, I think. I should not have stutters Certainly on final approach when it locked up for a couple of seconds, 2 seconds or so, that was a little worrying. I think, there we go, a DC-9 that's meant to be. Let's just put a DC-9 there then, rather than a brand new A320. Or just leave it empty. Because that just, to me, looks really weird. Really weird. But apart from that, the backdrop there looks fantastic, doesn't it? Couple of remote stands, nice custom textures.
Osprey 4840 is established on the localizer.
And the airpark over there looks really nice. So we've got this huge airport, massive tower. Look at the size of that tower. My goodness. We'll start landside. Look at that remarkable looking building over there. That looks stunning.
Alpha 3 via Alpha Golf, 05 Alpha.
And of course we need to see it at night time too, so we'll zip it around in a minute. Before we go any further, we'll turn our attention to New Sky. Badger's done really well there with a 10, $23,580. I'll close our flight. And we got a 10 too, great touchdown, happy days, 15,000 profit. Yeah, we're back in it. That Air Serbia there is clear for takeoff. Look how crude the tower is. It's a big imposing structure, just big square structure in the backdrop. No interior to it though. And there's the first glimpse of the terminal building from the other side. Let's just wind the time to kind of dusky twilight. Oh. Look at that. And I'm going to venture out the other way now because I want to see what that building looks like from the outside. It's a big circular thing. That's beautiful. Really, really good work. And there is a couple of... Oh, wow. It's an air park. Hold on. That's what's meant to be over there where the A320 is. Isn't it? Different reg, but let's put that over there. This is insane, look at that. That's really cool. Let's go to time, back to day. Now have a look at this air park. Very basic models, but nevertheless, it's part of the environment of the airport. This looks really cool. Look at the textures, the sun gleaming off that glass, it's remarkable. Really, really cool. Zato's about to touch down, I think. He's a few miles out, yeah. Lots of building work here too, kind of adding to that rough and ready feel, and the airport kind of in development as it is at the moment, looking really nice. And there's some pretty complex parts to this. That bit of scenery. Oh, that's pretty cool, isn't it? And then just farms out over that way instead. Right, what do we got then? Let's zip back round, past the tower. Vinci doing the works here by the looks of it. Definitely some LOD stuff going on, like the concrete blocks, you see them popping. There's definitely an optimization thing with this scenery. Maybe that's the cause of it locking up. It was going from one LOD to the next, but there's too much of a jump. Maybe it needs more LODs. Vinci, yeah, they are the contractor in the renovation project.
Air Serbia 183, direct Victor Alpha Lima VOR, climb final flight level 190.
There's the displaced threshold. And here comes Zato.
Actually, it'll do you one better, Serbia 183, direct Papa Oscar Delta VOR.
He's in a little white plane. Plain white wet lease. Oh yeah, I've had a few freezes. There we go. So the displaced threshold look makes you think you're higher than you are. It's a bit of a trick of the eye. You have to ignore that bit of concrete underneath you and just focus on that touchdown zone. Oh, he's going to 1-2 left. Fair enough. No displaced threshold for him. And that then leads us nicely to the forecourt. Big renovation work still going on here, so it's coned off, sealed off, all the rest of it. A couple of levels to it too. This looks really nice. A couple of little bits of pops here now and again with LODs and bits loading in, so yeah, it's definitely some work to do with the performance optimizations. Oh, that's weird. Look at that. Somebody asked about that. Is the terminal floating? It is.
34840, taxi stand Alpha 1 via Alpha Golf.
Alpha 1, Alpha Golf, Osprey 4840.
Right, let's have a look. Does this have an interior? I'm not sure. Beautiful texture work on this though, look at that. That sign could be a bit higher resolution in my personal opinion. Especially when the rest of it is so crisp. I don't want one, that's insane. In fact, yeah, that's a good speed. Yeah, the rest of it's so nice. That's just a bit blurry. But there is an interior, look. Can we go in? We can. Where does it go? It goes around the corner. Let's follow the stairs. Zato, good effort. Glass textures are wonderful, look at that. And this is a complex building for them to create and design. That's as much as you get with the scenery by the looks of it. Very pixelated, but then I suppose their argument is you wouldn't spend much time here. The textures on the glass, really nice. It's an average interior, but there's a lot of nice detail put into it, and then they've kind of skipped half of it, if that makes sense, which seems a bit odd. Just finish it, put more in, or choose one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Choose one or the other. Still very nice. But this is where they have chose to kind of throw in the pop. Really nice airside departures hall. A couple again isolated areas of low resolution texturing. Their argument there, I suppose, would be, well, actually, you're looking at the window from the flight deck looking through. You're not going to venture through here, but again, let's just increase the resolution. If we're going to include things like adverts, let's put them in high res. The roof area looks fantastic. So there are areas that I would improve here. I'd definitely put one of those DC-9s from the air park. You could just put another one over there, couldn't you? Where that A320 is. And I'd definitely improve some of the resolution of some of these posters and bits within here. Because people, if you've included it, people will want to go and explore the new scenery. But this is really nice. Yeah, that's what I mean, Andy. So they've kind of got high res areas, but then some areas they don't have high res, if that makes sense. It's almost contradictory within the scenery. This is the older terminal. Let's see what it looks like from the inside at night. Pop! Wow, look at that. Super bright. In fact, with that, let's go outside. Yeah, look at that. From the outside, look how beautiful those posters look. And look how crisp they look as well.
Belgrade 327, Belgrade radar, hello, squawk 5256.
Really nice, very impressive.
With 8327, squawk 5256.
It's a long old corridor, this. One of the things I did do with GSX is I've turned off the custom jetways that GSX forces onto it because they have their own. It's really old school. Rusty looking jetways. I thought it would be really cool to put those, or to leave those in and not actually replace them at all by GSX offering. You can do if you want to, but they've got jetties here that aren't default, so just make sure on GSX you disable it. The apron area looks really nice. So I mean, the big things that I would kind of point out: optimization seems a little off. Even with my rig, it was kind of struggling on approach, loading in bits, and the LODs look like you could do a little bit of tweaking maybe. The building itself, the design is really nice, the apron's really nice. The A320 over there that's kind of plonked, that needs to be changed to the DC6 or whatever it was that we saw at the other bit. And that kind of air park area looks fantastic. And yeah, the ILS needs tweaking because that isn't quite accurate at all. I don't know if I mentioned that already, I can't remember. But otherwise, a very nice bit of scenery. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the flight today as well. Tomorrow, something a little different. It's interesting, the jetty's done some weird stuff there. Yeah, tomorrow, something a little different again. We are off to another new scenery. We're going to be checking out the brand new Stuttgart by RD Presets. We're going to be flying out of Munich in the Aerosoft CRJ900. It's been a little while since we've flown that, so probably a little bit rusty. Might have a bit of work to do just to kind of get the hang of that again once more. But we're going to be doing the two sectors out of the new Simwings version 2 Munich Airport, across to Stuttgart, and then back to Munich again across the afternoon. So it's already set, scheduled, ready. The times of it will be put into Discord imminently, so you guys can get ready, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. Big thank you, of course, to Milos earlier on for dropping us a tip, and our ATC as well. Go get your Triumph after the dentist Rab says. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I should pass my test first or just buy it. I don't know. I'm very tempted though. You guys are a bad influence on me. Anyway, in the meantime, I'm off to buy a Triumph. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for some more madness. And I might have a Triumph, I don't know. I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for watching. My goodness.